Thank you guys for all jumping on the podcast. I'm so excited because I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. Funny enough, me and Chelsea had gotten into like a little debate or a conversation that I wind up piling over to Jai about Black movies, Black cinema, Black TV, Black, Black works of art such as like media, books, novels, paintings. And we're just talking about like some of the messaging and how it's like 50-50. Me and Chelsea, I think we're talking about the game. And then me and Jai switched over and started talking about waiting to exhale. So it was great. And I was like, I need these women on my panel. And then I started talking to Shadira about it. Like, we need to talk about Black media, just having like a simple conversation about like what we as Black creatives look forward to, not only in art, but also like media. So I thought you guys were all excellent for the panel. And Migos thinks it's appropriate to eat now, nonetheless. I want all of you guys to, of course, introduce yourselves, and then I'll go into what we're talking about today, what the title of the podcast is called, and what we're here to do. So whoever starts first, I guess we could go from the top left corner, which is Chelsea. I just asked everybody else, of course, to just mute while she speaks, and then, of course, we can go from there.
I'll make a special guest appearance every now and then.
Okay, you can make a special guest appearance. But I'll mute. So you guys are be ready, Chelsea.
Okay. Hi, my name is Chelsea. I'm 25. I'm currently a full-time law student, so I don't work. I just struggle. But I grew up watching plenty of Black shows and movies, and they made an impression on me, just like all the other media, the very exclusionary white media, and it all made an impression on how I identified. And I'm so excited to talk to you guys about, how it impacted me and hear what you guys have to say about that.
Jai, you can go. My apologies. Yeah. Oh, well, let me first say, welcome, Chelsea. Thank you for coming on. My sister's about to be a lawyer, the real Annalise Keating. That's all I had to say. Then we're going to talk about fintech.
We love to reach for Black intelligence.
Juan Munton, I think that's Jade. Let me double check. We'll see in a second whenever she joins. But Jai, you can start. Sorry.
Okay. My name is Jai. I am 27. I work in fintech right now, financial tech. I grew up, I think my mom kind of like put me on to a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have been watching when I was little, but I watched everything that everyone in our age group watched. So I'm excited to get into it with y'all too.
This is my friend Jade, guys. She just joined. Jade, meet Chelsea, Jai, and Shadira. Shadira, you can introduce yourself next. Welcome, John.
Hello. My name is Shadira. You guys can call me Shay. I am 28 years old. I'm actually going to be 29 in July. I'm a Leo. I mostly focus on holistic therapy for Black women and men because I know in our community, like therapy and shit is for white people, and people don't really care about that stuff. So I try to introduce different ways of managing and dealing with mental health to Black people so that they'll be more open to it and more open to just expressing themselves, because we have a hard time just doing that. Like before we even get into actually working on our mental health, just expressing ourselves in general. And aside from that, I do logos. I'm a freelance artist, so I dibble and dabble in a lot of things. I was actually very excited when Chantel invited me to her podcast because I love to talk about Black people in the media, because as much as I love to see our portrayal, it's a pet peeve of mine. So I was very excited to get into this panel and talk to everybody.
Thank you, Shadira. And Shadira is actually one of my partners / clients who I've been working with 90 Degree. She makes these bomb logos. She actually just drew up a few for my friends. Alexis, she drew up a logo for her, and she does really great work, more than I can do on Canva.
Thank you.
So, and then of course, last but not least, Jay Bills. Introduce yourself, of course, and talk about yourself.
Hey y'all, I'm Jade. I'm from Brooklyn. I went to Tuskegee University, so I have my degree in business administration. So right now, what I do is I kind of just do like a lot of freelance stuff. I cook, I make little drinks, just like that. I like to make people feel good. So that's what I feel like my job is to put into this world. And I like that Chantel invited me on this podcast because, yeah, we about to talk about some. I could curse on here? Oh, we about to get into it. I'm going to say that. We about to get into it.
Yes. So, like I told all of you girlies, it's super informal. Please feel free to, of course, partake in whatever you partake, whether it be a spliff or a drink. I want it to be as informal as possible. And I ask all of you ladies to, of course, jump on because I look at you all as industry leaders in your industries. We're Black women, we're professionals as well. And we just, of course, disrupt the industries we're in so we could change some things up and not just be, regular girlies. We out here, of course, making a name for ourselves, one, but of course also putting more into, of course, the industry, what we have integrated into. And of course, I'm Chantel, obviously. Lead up to Chantizzy Podcast. It's Tizzy time, of course. And, we're just going to get into it. We're talking about Black media today. And yeah, I'm excited. So the first question, and of course, you guys, I don't know if you guys have the little hand panel, whoever's first can raise their hand about answering the question, and then we can go forward and do what's next. Yes?
Yo, I just want to say, it sounds like you beautiful women are just more than just beautiful, and it's Black excellence and Black intelligence, and you guys show more so of, the intellect. You're not just pretty faces. You have a lot of intelligence and brains behind, what they will for say, I guess, brawn, so.
I'm sorry. Yes. I'm just giggly because I'm drunk. But.
No, but you guys need your credit when credit is due.
I agree.
You guys have worked hard to get to a point in life where you're more than just a face card. You guys are, this is like a conversation of Black excellence.
Black excellence and Black substance. I agree.
So I commend you guys, and I'm glad to even hear of Black women being so dominant and prominent and more than just makeup and looking good.
Thank you, Pastor Miz.
Thanks, Mizzy. Thanks, Mizzy.
Thank you, Mizzy.
Thank you very much.
Martin Luther.
Mizzy Luther King, everybody. Mizzy X. Okay, so the first question, of course, ladies, and you guys can all unmute because I kind of wanted to be, I did say I wanted to be more popcorn, but we can do popcorn for, of course, more of the serious debaccles, of course, when we're really getting, for lack of a better term, heated, or someone may have a different view. Of course, we could do popcorn then. But the first question, of course, is like, who is one of your favorite, what is one of your favorite Black films? And of course, we could go left to right again. Chelsea, you can start, and then of course everybody can just interact after, but please feel free to unmute. Like, I just love everybody's feedback. So, once we get into the real in-depth, like, what do you think about the game and why Melanie cheated on Thurman? Well, we're gonna have to mute because I know everybody's conflicted.
So I had to actually Google a little bit just to remember all my childhood movies that I've seen, and two that really stood out to me that I saw as a kid was A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, because I loved seeing a Black woman. I feel like, sadly, even in life, but we're always, as women in general, but as Black women, we're always at the hand of harm. If you look at the stats on missing Black women, so to see a Black woman be terrifying, even as a little child, made me feel powerful, which is toxic. I understand. I understand that's toxic, but it's how I felt. And then another movie that I really, really loved was Coming to America, because I love seeing a different kind of woman celebrated and loved. I was a pageant kid, so I remember being 8 years old and looking at my leg and thinking I was fat. I was the twiggiest little kid, but I would look at my leg and I would be so upset that it had skin on it. I think skin. And so it was, I don't know, it was very I like to see a Black woman being cherished and things like that. No matter, I'm deserving of being valued and cherished. It kind of countered a lot of the things that the world around me was saying. So.
I agree. I feel like that movie really gave like Black woman that kind of like badass look. I mean, and then Lynn Whitfield, of course, she wound up playing everything evil from then. Of course, like Galleria Killer and Cheetah Girls. We gotta work, 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 and then of
You
course
know she bodied that evil role.
she
She
do.
did.
She was playing the mother in
Definitely did.
Greenleaf, and I'm like, oh, this evil bitch.
Oh,
Like,
talk about Greenleaf.
but she exudes so much like bougie Black woman. Like Lynn Whitfield made me want to
Yeah.
be that as well. So I agree with that. She definitely was like, nigga, you're not gonna play me. I'm gonna beat your ass up, like, and make you really hate me. Like, so yeah, I like when Lynn Whitfield in that movie too. Jai.
So one of my favorite Black movies, I was in between two, and they're polar opposites probably, but my number one is probably Waiting to Exhale. I don't know. I just liked, it's not like a feel good movie, but like I said, I was watching things that I probably wasn't supposed to watch, and I really loved Whitney Houston, and just seeing like all those, they were all like going through it a different way, but they all were like just still trying to hang on to what they had going on themselves, and just trying to, it just, and then when I was like going through it myself, it was like something good to come back to, you know, it was good. And then Johnson Family Vacation, just because it's hilarious, number one, and Lil Bow Wow was in it, but everybody has a chaotic family, like, and everybody has all those different characters in their family, whether it be like on the level of 10 or on like the level of 2. We can all like picture one of our family members in that chaotic mess of a movie. So I love that movie too.
Very true. And I hated what's his name from Jamie Foxx show, Braxton. I hated him for years.
Oh my goodness.
Like, how dare you?
Oh, he was the
truck
boyfriend.
driver.
Yes, he was the truck driver.
They
Yes.
kept trying to run him off the road with the diaper truck. And I'm like, Braxton, all over Vanessa Williams. Not Miss Vanessa Williams, not Rick Fox, please. But okay. That's one of my favorites too. I love that movie. And then Solange. I mean, come on.
I know.
We got primetime Solange, and we got primetime Bow Wow, and primetime Cedric the Entertainer too. I mean,
and young Jason Momoa in that indigenous costume. Problematic.
Indigenous is correct. Very much fake Indian, fake native. Yes. Yeah. That was a good one. J. Bill, since you switched spots with Shadira, you can go first about your favorite movie, and then Shadira, you can go.
So my favorite Black movie, hands down, is Crooklyn. I feel like number one, that's kind of how like I grew up, you know, living with two brothers, all of us in the small house, our parents just figuring it out. But you know, living in Brooklyn, so you're just making the best of it. And I love how Spike Lee highlights the difference, the like one of the main difference of like, you know, living in up north and then going down south, because that's something I did, you know. So I really love that movie. That's like one of my stamp movies. I could watch that all day.
I love Crooklyn too. And please, y'all, feel free to interject. Like, don't feel like it's like school and you got to raise your hand. Like, please, like, definitely, if you agree with the movie, of course, like, as far as like, oh, I like Crooklyn too, jump in. You know, it gives a little more appeal for the YouTube. But but I love Crooklyn too. That's my favorite, especially when they killed the dog. What was the dog's name again?
Queen.
My favorite part when he was like, "Are you sorry for making fun of me because I got left back? And you sorry for this? And you sorry for that?"
And you sorry I got my sisters got different baby fathers. Yo, I love that movie.
That's a classic. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Shadira, you could go.
All right, so because I love Spike Lee, I'm also gonna say one of my favorite movies is Do the Right Thing, and that's because I resonate with that movie. Like when every time I watch that movie, it just reminds me of being a kid outside back in the day, like riding my bike up and down the block, like running through the sprinklers, worrying about all of that. And I really love like how it highlighted the normalcy of what goes on in a day and on a hot summer day in Brooklyn. and also the racism that we have to deal with. As much fun as we having, as much as we doing, as much as we walking around and getting lit and playing around and having, we still have to deal with people who are also in our neighborhood still treating us unfairly. So I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies.
I love Do the Right Thing too, especially when he steps on the sneakers. Like that's just such an influential thing. It's so funny because so many books have referenced it, so many videos, music videos. I don't know if you've seen Stepped on My J's by Nelly, but they literally reference a scene in that music video too. And that's one of my favorites. Still a reason why I eat pizza today and never worked in a pizza shop because of Mookie. So
absolutely.
Can I ask a question before we start?
Oh yeah.
Where's everybody from? I know Brooklyn. I'm from Queens. I think. Are you from Long Island, Chelsea?
Can you hear me? Both.
Yeah.
So my mom lived in Harlem, and I lived with her in Harlem. And I moved in with my dad when I was about 12. But then I always did back and forth. So I did summers in New York City. My mom also moved to the Bronx when I was in 8th grade. Actually, not 12th because I did 8th grade in the Bronx. And I did summers like back and forth. So I just say New York.
Uptown kid, Uptown girl. Uptown girl.
Okay.
And Shay, where you from?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
All right.
Brooklyn babies. We're all New York daddies, so I'll take it. We're all tri-state area girls.
No Bronx people here, right?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I always say I did 8th grade in the Bronx like it was a prison sentence because it was
I always ask people, like, does the Bronx not scare you? It's always on fire.
No,
like,
it does.
That
It
is
does.
terrifying.
The Bronx is like, listen, we're from Coney Island, so it's like.
I was about to say the Bronx is like Brownsville on crack. Wait, the Bronx is like
literally.
on crack.
That is very true. Brownsville on crack. It's very true.
I'll take that. And on fire as well.
Coney Island was nice. I don't want to get off topic. I'm sorry.
Yes, the first few blocks when you get out the train station and go to the rides and the beach,
Like,
very nice.
the fair,
Any
place is
further,
nice.
yeah, exactly. If you go any further besides 24th, 25th, baby girl, bring that bulletproof vest because we don't know you.
Find your chain. Do something.
Make sure you can duck, or you can block, or you can counter,
or you can run fast.
Those are the 4 options.
Yeah, I toughed out there for loved ones. Never.
Yes. Coney Island is great, but when you get to go home, it's even greater.
Yeah.
Too long. But on a serious note, speaking of fire and violence, my favorite Black movie, of course, is Bad Boys 2. I have 2 actually. Bad Boys 2 and 2 could play that game. So Bad Boys 2 because
she's lying.
No, please let me finish. Bad Boys 2 is my favorite because literally Mike Smith. I was about to call him Mike Smith. Mike Lowry, aka Will Smith, was really influential because we as Black people didn't really know we can be lifesavers. We didn't know we could be heroes. And I always looked at Mike and Marcus as heroes for the Miami area. Of course, they had portions in the movie where it was like very much side eye, but I really love that 2 Black men were able to, of course, dominate Miami's police force and be able to bring down crime within the neighborhoods. My second movie is 2 Can Play That Game because 1, Vivica A. Fox was fucking crazy in that movie. First of all, 1, she was a bad bitch. She was an ad executive. She was powerful. She had money. Her man had money. Yes, exactly. Her man had money. Her friends, her friends were her friends. Of course, Monique was one of my favorite characters in the movie as well because she reminds me of myself. Very nonsensical, plus size baddie, of course, and then more importantly, not taking no shit from her friend's man or her man. Mm-hmm. So I love that movie. And then, of course, Gabrielle Union plays what she plays best. So she was Connie. But it was a great movie. Young Wendy Raquel Robinson, who else was in it? Young Bobby Brown. Yes, which I thought was awesome. You have young Vivica, young Anthony Anderson. Great movie. So those are my 2 favorites.
Don't pull my black card, y'all, but I ain't see that one.
No,
it's good.
I didn't either.
It's so good, Jay Bills. You'll love it.
Who said I didn't either?
I didn't either. So it's okay.
It's for the girls. You'll like it.
I might have to watch that tonight then.
For the girlies.
Oh, Missy would like to say his movie too. Would you like to get in the camera to say a movie?
He has to be in the camera.
Yeah, you do.
Nah,
Thank you.
facts.
Like, what is
We don't have
this?
to turn our cameras on.
Right. I had to do my hand, everything.
Right.
What's up, y'all? All right. So look, I did it. I pulled the Chelsea. I had to refresh the brain, so I went and Googled real quick.
Amen.
Y'all wildin'. Y'all forgetting all the cult classics. And I put her on too. But she did put me on the one, and I'm gonna put it up there because it touches on a more serious topic, and then I'll get to the foolishness. Soul food. I really enjoyed soul food. Tiz put me on the soul food because I never really sat down as a kid and watched soul food, even though it would be on BET forever. We remember BET, you know, when we watching the movies, we got the basic
You
cable.
can't watch a movie on
Yeah.
me, so you're not.
Yeah.
BET will make a
Yeah.
movie 4 hours. That's 1 hour.
Look. Y'all lying. Y'all lying if y'all say y'all never had the basic cable and you had to watch the BETs and
That's how we started.
Absolutely.
Right.
I appreciate soul food because
Everybody-
soul food. Oh, my fault, Mizzy.
No, you
Nah,
can't
nah,
even.
you good.
I
But
feel like soul food shows like the dysfunction in all Black households that nobody wants to talk about.
Yes,
I
yes.
agree.
So that's what we all have. Those we all have our family members where we fuck with them sometimes, and then we love them from a distance sometimes.
Right.
Like, it shows that where we all go through those motions, but at the end, it has to be something to pull us together. So that's
Family.
what I loved about soul food. Then what y'all remind me of right now is Set It Off. Y'all forgot about Set It Off. Y'all wild. Look.
How we gonna forget Set It Off?
Black
How
woman,
do we
look,
forget something?
Oh,
Black
man.
woman tired of
Time after
being out the
time.
loop. They put themselves in the loop. So I respect that. You feel me? That was like the first time I seen like black women on some gangster shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what else?
You only got 2.
Nah, I got mad enough. Stop playing. Look, this is the only probably time that y'all see me in the camera. Oh, New Jack City. Now I'm gonna get to my shit. New Jack City, Dead Presidents.
Great
Where
one.
we going? Friday. Y'all forgot about Friday. Come on, y'all.
We're Black women.
So nobody gonna
Right.
say
you
She
said
said
Black
she
women.
said
Tales from the
her
Hood.
favorite.
Man, get out of here.
Nobody
man.
about to say Tales from the Hood.
Yo,
Because I feel
I
like
ain't
that's
see that
a
one
staple
either.
classic.
Yo,
I
yes.
just seen Menace to Society.
she
like
just
2
seen
weeks
Paid
ago,
in Full.
and I'm still not a fan.
I did too. Shit last year.
Wait,
fine.
I didn't like
Last
it.
year.
I hated Paid in Full. It was so derogatory and the bottom tier of filmmaking, like the cinematography.
That's
Pissed
how I feel about
me
Juice.
very
I
much
hate
so
Juice.
too.
I
I
hate
hate
Juice.
Juice
That's how I
as
feel
well.
I
about
hate
Juice.
Juice.
It had no
Like,
plot, no
why do Black
storyline.
people hold that Juice to such a high standard? I fucking
But
hate
that's
that movie.
like
He
horrible.
backdoored his
I
friends. Why are we?
For
He
no
backdoored his
reason. For no
man. Why is he
reason.
highlighting that movie?
Yo, I dislike y'all. Oh, Belly.
Still never seen Belly though.
What?
Never saw that.
My
Never
mom-
saw it.
All right. Are y'all
I have no
serious?
idea who
Y'all
Doc
not really
Stacey
from the
is.
town.
That's
Y'all
not
not really from the town.
Right.
Y'all
Oh,
not
wow.
really from the town. Because what's
Oh,
going
wow.
on?
You at
Oh.
least have to see the movies that are based in New York. Like you
Yeah.
at least.
How y'all didn't see Belly?
This one, I look
Okay,
Harlem
y'all know-
Nights because she said Harlem.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like, how
Harlem
y'all
Nights
forget
is
Harlem
classic.
Nights?
Yeah, I fuck with
I
Harlem
think
Nights.
that one.
Y'all,
Passing
in the
and I'll
movie
end on-
Belly, Terrell Hicks. I don't look at her as an adult, sadly, but when I was a kid, I looked just like Kid Her. So my mom was so hyped that I was gonna look like this woman.
I think you favor her still.
I think you do too. I was just about to say I've never seen a Kiki, but
No. No, she definitely does. That's crazy. Yo.
I didn't grow up to be the baddie that we thought, but
no, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I never seen Belly, but I seen like clips, and I always loved how they put the blue light on a darker skinned woman. It made me feel as a lighter skinned woman like this is what we need. Because one thing about it, I'm gonna call light skinned women out. Get this yellow bitch out of here. Where the dark skinned women at? Like it's so funny because
Me too.
I'm yeah, literally, because like
And I do
one thing
not
about
care.
it, colorism pisses me off in the community because it's like, why do you think because you're lighter, you're better looking? I've seen so many darker skinned baddies who look so bomb, and then we have,
Yeah.
of course, the paper bag test winners talking about some. Oh, I'm. You know, and it's like, but we won't get into that. That's a that's a podcast.
Wait, I got a question, right? Like before we hop into topic.
Mhm.
I don't know. This might be a little spicy to start us, but
No, I love it.
I don't know if y'all seen today. Tyler Perry posted Die with Mad Black Woman made 18 years, like his first movie, his first big movie, right?
18.
So we all love that movie. We know it's a good movie. We love Medea, but How do y'all feel about black men having to put on a dress and a wig to blow up?
I hate it. And I
First
hate
and
it. And I
foremost,
promise you, I feel like the moment they put on a dress and a wig, they not funny. Because I feel like you felt like you had to portray a black woman to be funny.
Exactly.
And it's like, do you
and that was the only way you could do it.
That's what's not funny.
Funny enough, you guys bring up Tyler Perry. Me and Mizzy watch Homecoming all the time because it's very funny. You know, it has those like, you know, the kind of like minstrel type comedy. Ha ha ha, big black woman.
Part was when he did the Beyonce joint.
I don't find that funny. Like that kind of offended me. I didn't like that part because it's like out of all the women you could like jest and joke about, why Beyonce? Like, you know, Beyonce probably laughed at it. But my thing is like, I ultimately did not like, she probably didn't. Honestly, you know her, she probably be like, but my thing is like, I didn't like that he felt like he had to.
That's his judge.
Excuse me.
You hear about how like 2 years ago they were calling Tyler Perry basically like a they were saying, I don't know if you guys ever watched Dear White People, but basically a writer on there who was like a dupe of Tyler Perry, and he did like, you know, like the slave chronicles, and basically it was like them in a slave house, and he made a bunch of money off of it. And the girl from Meet the Browns, who funny enough played in Tyler Perry's films too, was basically like, you can make shows without teasing our people. And he was basically like, well, this is what makes me money, and ultimately it's about educating whatever. He tried to like paint it in a green light versus a red light. And I feel like Johnny bringing that up about Tyler Perry poses me to this question: do you think Tyler Perry benefits the black community, or he basically more so is detrimental to the black community?
I feel like that's a tricky question.
I agree.
Because I would
detrimental. Tyler Perry does do a lot for the black community.
Exactly.
Like he just built that whole like, okay, I know he built his studio, so they raised the property taxes around the studio. He covered all of that for I think it was like $750,000 or something like that. He paid all of that. Yeah. So he does do good for black people, but you know, I think it's just Hollywood in general. You know, they gotta keep the people's entertained, you know, and part of keeping people entertained is making black people look like a fool too. So
it's true though.
And you gotta not pander, but know your audiences. Like, and I know that white people think that Tyler Perry's movies are funny. I also know that there's a large community of black people who think that that's funny.
It's true.
And don't always think that that's funny. They're probably older black people, or you know, like churchy black people, whatever, but that's a large
black people gonna laugh at a Tyler Perry film.
Majority of the black community, so that makes him money. He's gonna keep on doing it, and people genuinely think that that's funny, and it makes it I'm sure in like newer Tyler Perry movies stuff has made us chuckle. But you know, there's people who really think that that's very funny, and it makes him a lot of money. So I'm not mad at it, but I wouldn't call him detrimental. I don't think so.
I don't think he's detrimental. Like, I personally have a love-hate relationship with him because, like y'all said, he does do a lot for the black community. And yes, we know you're making a lot of money, but I feel like at this point in his filmmaking career, like a lot of the stuff he produces, you could tell like he's probably the top creative director on everything that he produces. And my thing is, it's like
he's the one and only.
That's my point. And it's like, we get it.
And that's why it's loving his
other
relationship.
Creative black people out here. There's creative
you
black people that can take your film a different direction. Like they could bring it somewhere. And you also have your audience. You Tyler Perry at the end of the day. Like you don't still get the same people coming to you, all of that. Like you could change your direction up a little bit. It don't have to be the same thing all the time. Like
I think he's done harm in certain things that he's done, but I also think he's done a lot of good and expanding representation of women. So yeah, he has made jokes about black women and turned it into this one trope and narrative, but I think that's more of the viewers lens in our American culture of this trope and narrative of, you know, maybe he's representing one aunt in our family, one crazy ass aunt that we do all know in our family.
We all got that aunt.
and instead of the world taking that, like with white people, when it's one character, they go, okay, this is a character, this is one person, that's all black women now. and now we're all answering to this one narrative. And he has, I think, done really well at expanding the narrative. He's given us more Black women actresses and different faces. So I think he's done good and harm, but I think he could have done better on the good. He could have done more, and he hasn't. And I think that's what I'm hearing. One thing that this conversation makes me think of, though, is that
the hand, right?
You saw the little hand, right? Like he's so vested to
you remember y'all remember there's this one YouTuber, I'll try to find it, where she talks about this, the Vine era, where they would just mock Black women, like all of these comedians, like the whole, like, yes, like all of these common colloquial terms we have are like an imitation of Black women that came from Vine. And she did this whole like spiel about it, just the money that is made in just mocking Black women is astronomical. The fame that specifically Black men get in just the caricature of Black women. And also this makes me think of is Chris Rock. Yeah, we can talk about Slap, but also just like Everybody Hates Chris, the Hair movie that he made, the lovely, eloquent, intelligent Hair movie, and that's all sarcasm. That movie was horrific. And we've seen I think it was like we've seen intelligent movies on Black hair, and that was not one of them. And so I think his whole, like, when you talk about like standing and not expanding and just tearing us down being their career, I think of Chris Rock immediately. And that's why I was not mad at his.
So I have a question for you, Chelsea. You don't feel like, because Tyler Perry, he portrays a lot of trauma when it comes to Black women. He portrays
I was literally
Black women and trauma go hand in hand.
He loves Tyler Perry. Black women struggle.
So, he loves to see us struggle. He loves to see us be crackheads, baby mothers, like battered women. He loves to see it. So my thing is, don't you think that's kind of detrimental to Black women in a way?
That's what she was saying. Because she said that my thought was the antithesis of what she was saying. Literally, he's made he's put a lot of Black women in his movies. He he gives us parts. He does tell a lot of stories, but on the other hand, he does love to see us struggle. But that's what she was saying. It's like a good and bad type of thing.
Right.
Tyler Perry needs to be arrested for Shamar Moore's braids.
He needs to be arrested for every single
on that point,
every single one.
On that point, the thing about Tyler Perry I don't like either is the one Black role where the Black woman was thriving, and when Sanaa Lathan played, what movie was that? Family That Prays. She is doing good, and then she gave up her Black family to be with the white man. Like, she shitted on her husband for that man to turn around and say he not leaving you anyway. And look at your Black husband. Now he thriving. I ain't like that. I
don't think that's actually the Tyler Perry movie I hate the most.
The Family That Prays.
Yeah. She was doing too much for white validation. And I was like, Cole Hauser at that, Mr. Racist.
And she was already at the top. She was at the top of a top white firm or whatever the case is. Woo. And then when another Black lady came in and she actually worked, she ain't fuck her way to the top. She had an issue with it. Like, why did you have to do that?
Can I be the unpopular voice right now?
Yes, Chelsea, please.
Aren't these like actual tropes in people?
Yes.
But common stories?
It is, but why do we have to always paint it? Like, this is the reality we live. So why do we have to watch it on TV in a movie? Like, why do we always gotta see it?
And why does it always have to be? Why do you always have to produce that kind of content? Mind you, he doesn't. But even other than the Black woman struggle, and like a lot of his stuff, I don't watch his stuff now. But even I'm thinking like House of Pain, like that was like I would say like a well-adjusted family, but they went through it on that show too.
I was just watching that when Janine was on crack. Her parents came to wonder where she was.
I forgot she was on crack.
Right. That was the craziest part of the series. Janine on crack, Malik stealing, Jasmine engaging with people and interacting with people who weren't the best crowd. Like them losing their house almost. Like
he was his baby mama, and then he married Rudy from the Cosby Show. Remember that?
And then the baby drowned in the tub. Like
it was a mess. It was a mess. He got burned under the watch of the stepmother. It was a lot. It was a mess.
Too much. And speaking of that, I just want to transition really quick because I feel like, okay, Mizzy has to say something, but then the next thing I want to transition into is discussing one of these 3 shows, and you guys can wind up picking, we'll choose which one is the most popular, but The Game, The Parkers, or 101. So you guys think about that and let Mizzy give his male speech. I'm down for The Game too. But.
So
wait, what are we rating off? Okay, wait, where's Mizzy? Go ahead, speak.
So 2 things with Tyler Perry that Jay Bills and Chelsea touched on was he does a lot for the Black community, but it gets overlooked and overshadowed by when people pay attention more to the bad than the good. So that's one thing to pay attention to. And another thing to pay attention to, because me and Tiz, we be having these talks all the time without, being on podcasts or being on video. He touches he gives love to everybody, but the focus is on more so the problem than, for example, we forgetting that he played a lawyer, a successful lawyer.
Brian,
and
what movie was that?
Diver, Mad Black Woman.
He's always the successful lawyer.
Battle by myself.
He always plays the lawyer in the roles, when he
Did he get shot?
So now
he got shot.
His client shoot him.
No, that's Charles. Charles, it's me. And I hate Tyler Perry because my dad's name is Charles, and I'll never look at Charles the same.
So now it's 2 things, but there's been roles. It's been roles where he shows a Black police officer, he shows a Black firefighter, he shows all the different things where back then we weren't allowed, but it gets overlooked because now it's like, oh, it's normal. But no, back then you wasn't able to be a Black firefighter. Back then you wasn't able to be a Black police officer. Back then you wasn't able to be a Black lawyer. You feel me? So I say that to say we focus on sometimes because we get caught up in the story. So we focus on the moral and the point of the story versus the overall message. And society always picks out not society, but even us. We pick out the bad because me and Tiz was having this talk. Like, man, you always showing Black people in a bad light, and we found out like a lot of the roles, majority of all the roles is Black people. So, like I said, there's always a Black firefighter, there's always a Black cop, there's always Black people of success, but we not paying no attention to that because we just paying attention to the story. So we get caught up in the story versus when we see. When you watch a movie 10 times, you like, oh shit, I didn't even notice the Black firefighter. I ain't noticed the successful lawyer, the successful judge that's overriding the case. So in that sense, he shows Black excellence, but we focus on the moral of the story and the plot versus all the extra details. So, and not only that, like I said, y'all touched on it, and us being in Georgia, I learned this because me working for a production company, majority of his jobs that he give out is to the Black community. So majority of people that's working under Tyler Perry is African American. Not only that, but he also has a scholarship program. So if you're working for him and you're going to school, he's helping you pay for your tuition. So like it's mad things that even though we feel like he has a negative effect, there's a lot of positive going on, but we don't broadcast the positive. We just look at it like, oh, he putting this light on us. He doing this. So it's like, it's 50-50 because I understand you don't have to put a dress on as a man to be funny, but maybe that's something that he was comfortable with, and him being touched from a very young age. He doesn't see the dilemma in that, or he doesn't see it as anything wrong. He's just expressing maybe how he really feels.
I feel like Tyler Perry can come out the closet, and if he's gay, he's gay. Like I ultimately, no, for real.
He ain't come out the closet.
I feel like no, he didn't. But when he did that Beyonce thing at the end of Homecoming, I was like, baby, just break those doors down. They're not holding you anymore, and that's fine. I feel like we as Black people, we need that community, the LGBTQIA community, to be definitive in what we put out, whether it be media, whether it be anything, because one thing about it, there's Black gay people too. Like, I don't know why we pretend and hide like that's something that's like negative. Like, come on out, baby. Like, we support.
And it's not new.
It's not new at all. And that's another thing too. But to not get out of here.
No, but it's 2 things. Because look, it's 2 things you touched on. Look, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound crazy. Pause. No homo. Ayo. Tiz turned me out. because now look,
yeah, I made Missy watch Pose and Legendary
and P Valley.
So
now,
yeah,
because
we are allies.
You should.
So look, ally.
Ally.
Yeah. Right, so now, before I was very disrespectful. She told me, she had to tone it down. It's very disrespectful.
Very. He was calling transgender people AI. Is like, no, 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 no. But that's what happens when you deal with masculine men.
So now, what happened is when she put me on the Pose, Legendary.
No, that's a fact.
Even P Valley, because sometimes be way too much. I gained a perspective, and more so from Legendary. No, Pose. More so from Pose, because Pose, it was like teaching points, and they had to go underground and then become something where it was respected all around, to the point where now everybody like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. So I seen like, oh, they had to go through their own struggle to basically be accepted into society. Excuse me, I'm a little smacked. Be accepted into society. So now that's why they be wearing that chip on their shoulder the way they do, whatever they choose to identify as. So I gained a perspective from Tiz, and I understand a little bit deeper, like why certain people move the way they move. And I say that to say,
you got a minute.
Wait, what?
You got a minute.
On,
we're supposed to be on here until 8:50. People have things to do. It's Saturday.
All right.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. But no, on a serious note, because I do want to get into the game, and I know you guys all want to talk about it, and I'm very passionate about the game because I just rewatched it for the 9th time last week. But of course, the next question is, we are discussing the game. So what theme or message resonated with you, or what theme or message did you hate within the show?
Melanie was a hoe.
Was she?
Exactly. Was she a hoe? And
Derwin was a bitch.
That's what I'm saying.
Derwin was
like,
a bitch. She was like a man
even
child.
if she was a hoe,
Derwin
so
was
what?
a man child.
Derwin was a butthole, and Derwin pissed me off because
Derwin
how you a Christian
a man
talking
child
about God and I can't be led by temptation, and Drew Sidora, a C list, B list, A B C D E F G list, gonna get you breaking up with your boo? Who
you broke up with med school?
Med school on the hold for you.
She put med school on hold for you?
Shorty, that finger forehead?
Yes. So we're gonna get into it.
So like a glass backboard on her head.
Yes. So we're gonna start. I'm just gonna give a talking point, and then you guys can piggyback off, or whoever wants to start. But I just want to say this.
Can I just trauma vent?
Yes. I feel like Melanie wind up because I feel like Melanie saw how hard her father was working and the type of man she was with her mother, that she looked for that in Derwin. But Derwin was not that. And then she wound up getting hurt because she put this mindset up to Derwin being like her father because he was faith-based as well. And Derwin let temptation hit him. One thing that pissed me off about Derwin, and of course you guys can piggyback, this is my final point, is that Derwin kept fucking up. No matter how much Melanie tried to shift and love him, he just kept fucking up. Melanie fucked up too, though, but we talking about Derwin ass because Derwin was more very much God, love, family. So it was like, how can you bought her the car, but you guys go ahead.
Okay, my thing with Derwin, I like Derwin. And I feel like he was fucking up, but I think he really was, like, in a sense, trying too. Like, I really think he really did like want to be with med school, but just like he's a football player, number one. Like his mind is not all the way mentally there yet. He tried to balance all this shit. Like it was too much temptation for Derwin, and he ain't know how to just say, "Yo, this is what I need." And then until like Melanie was ready to really move on, like they had a baby on her and everything. Like that's what it took for you to be like, okay, now I really gotta get my shit together. Like. Derwin, this girl gave you mad years of her time.
Quit med school for you.
So it's like I don't know, bro. It's iffy because I don't think he's a bad person. Like I don't, but it's just like he has some issues. He had issues that he needed to work on.
I think
we never met Derwin family either.
maybe it's because I'm going into divorce law and I'm a little harsh, but I think that show humanized cheaters a little too much. I don't think there's that much love, compassion, and empathy in a person who's unfaithful.
Especially not having no damn kid on me. I'm out.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Enjoy the baby mama life.
I think that people who cheat don't care. That's my equation. So I think they really romanticize a cheater and staying with the cheater. I think this is a very, it's harsh to say this to my own self, but a very feminine, like, not like feminine, but like like brainwashed feminine perspective of what manhood is. Like, I don't think, like, I think also in like Christian faith, the stumble, let a woman stumble. Talk about accountability. Let a woman stumble.
Because when Trey Wiggs pulled up and was paying her tuition and
buying her a new Cadillac, buying her an apartment, Trey Wiggs was really that guy. Was really trying to take care of med school.
Remember when he came to Tasha's house and she said whatever she said about Malik? I don't remember. She got into bed with him. He could not. He was inconsolable. She didn't even do anything yet. He was inconsolable, and she didn't even do
trying to come like Malik at Tasha's house. Yeah,
he already did what he did.
But that's real life, though. Like men act like Derwin in real life, and then cry the moment a woman breathes.
They get a
little
taste of their medicine.
All they gotta do is breathe on another man, and they will have a whole heart attack. Like,
she was just in Trey Wiggs' car talking about you don't have to pay for all of this, and Derwin had a little heart attack. Oh. Trey Wiggs came and picked up your belongings from the house. Oh.
His security hemmed him up. Remember when the security hemmed him up?
Got him like this. Derwin was pissing me off. But speaking of that, another relationship in the game that really pissed me off. Funny enough,
Tasha Mack and her son.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I was gonna say
Absolutely.
Kelly and Jason too. Like,
They
I
didn't
really felt bad.
Yeah.
I low-key felt bad for Kelly because Kelly sat there and decided to diminish herself for Jason cheap ass, and then wind up losing in the
bad for her though.
I don't feel bad
for
her.
to stay for that. You
Yeah,
told
I
her
don't
she
really
wanted
feel
that.
bad.
You
I'm
knew the nigga
She wanted to be a trophy
Now
wife.
your nigga was cheap.
Trauma though.
Yeah.
Come
Where I
on.
wanted to trauma. My dad is.
I only felt bad because at the end she did marry him for money. She admitted it in therapy.
I'm not even talking, folks.
Y'all want a dog? Anyway, so Migo.
That was my trauma dump. My dad was Jason. My dad is Jason.
My dad is Jason too, girl. Like, I really had to look back and be like, no wonder they hate Charles's. Like, Charles, it's me. Like, literally, don't like my dad to this day. Like, I was like, you really let Steve Harris embody your character? That's how you act?
Listen,
Charles.
fuck Charles and Jason. We gonna get into Tasha Mack and her grown ass man child.
Yeah, but
Yes, let's get into that. Go ahead, Johnny.
Because girl,
Boy.
that's not your man. We're gonna start there. He's a grown ass
at
man.
all.
Why? That's all I gotta say. We watched the game. That's all I have to say to that
But
one.
can we
Right
talk
there.
about how real that is, though?
No,
Does anybody
seriously.
I was about to say, like, that's real life.
Seriously.
Like, I
Does anybody have a
That's real
brother?
life.
I
I
got a
have
brother.
two.
I don't even.
I
have
have
a brother.
two.
I don't even have a brother. I have all boy cousins. I'm the oldest of all boy cousins, and I am Haitian. And I was expected to look after these boy cousins as if I was their wife, their mother, their aunt, their everything. Like the grown men.
Grown
Because
men.
I am a woman.
That's
I
I have to treat
know.
these grown men like they babies.
No
girls.
shade, and I'm not gonna tell too much business, but I was at Mizzy aunt house in Florida, and it was morning, and Mizzy aunt was like, "Why are you not making him tea? It's the morning." I said, "Is this the 50s, girl? Like, is he going to
Our
work
man
providing
got
for
two
us,
hands.
and I
Like,
got time to make tea?" Like, but this is how they think, like the stigma for the woman. So I really had to look at her like, "No, I'm not making him tea. He got it."
Nah, my auntie funny, y'all. She was like, yo, she be cleaning your sneakers. I said, clean my sneakers.
Yes,
Cleaning the
she come in there
sneakers.
like,
Right. Auntie dragged it. Auntie dragged
I
it a
said,
little.
clean my sneakers. I said, nah, not for nothing, auntie. I promise you, a real man, like, on some real nigga shit right now. Real
Girl,
nigga
what?
shit.
Like
real,
with a toothbrush?
yo, real nigga
Hell
shit.
no.
Right.
Nah, real nigga shit. I told my auntie, I said, when it comes to my clothes, because the way I was raised, I don't need nobody to wash my clothes for me. And not for nothing, ask Tiz. I got a strategic way of washing my clothes. I line my shit up. Colors with colors, like grays with grays, colors with colors, and all that shit. And then not only that, what need to go to the cleaners, go to the cleaners. I know how to do my shit on my own. So I don't need her to waste time in something that I know that I could do on my own. Like, to me, that's how I look at it. And not only that, I've been taking care of my shit since forever. So I don't need her to scrub my sneakers.
I wasn't doing that anyway.
I know you wasn't. But
Scrubbing sneakers is mad crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
You clean sneakers is wild.
I don't need
That crazy.
I don't need you to wash my clothes because I know how to wash my clothes and I got a strategic way, and then my clothes is different. You can't wash my clothes because I'm gonna be tight. She was being nice. She's like, yo, I did the laundry one day. I said, yo, Tiz,
Come here.
whatever you do, unless it's work clothes, don't do no laundry, please.
Migos, please. Thank you.
I don't. Yeah, that's your dog.
It is my dog, and he's pissing me off.
All right. So with that being said, it's certain
Migos,
things me
come here.
personally as a man,
Come here.
I don't
Come
depend on her for, like washing my clothes, washing my drawers.
Excuse me.
Like,
Go ahead, sit down.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah,
One
fact.
thing that I like.
Do you have
Washing my clothes.
sisters? Do you have
Excuse me?
sisters? Do you have sisters?
No.
Older brothers.
You have two older. You only have brothers. You don't have sisters.
Yes, ma'am.
And
The only thing I don't do, and I'm gonna be so transparent. The only thing I don't do is cook because I had two older brothers and they always cook for me. So that's the only thing I don't do.
He don't cook shit.
I don't cook shit.
He can make eggs though.
I could make a bomb ass breakfast. Fuck is you talking about? Fuck out of here.
Things that cook itself. Things that thank you.
Things that can cook itself.
One thing.
Get your ass out of here.
One thing I would say, like the dynamic with like the Tasha, like the way Tasha treated her son. I find that the men who are raised like that, who do grow up with those expectations of like throw up my sneakers type shit, they are the worst towards women.
I agree.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Too. Remember, he was dating the bigger girl from Fat Girls. I forgot the light skin one. And he was just so coddled within his mother. His mother's like, that's a good girl. Date Renee. I think her name was. She's sweet. She's beautiful. And even the mom loved her. But he had this stigma in his mind that wasn't the woman for him because either A, growing pains and seeing what his mother looked like. And I also feel like that's something very detrimental to the community too. Men will always look for their mother in the women they want to further align with. But us as women, we don't want to find our father in men.
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of tricky,
like
bro. I feel
only
like
look
that's
for their
very
mothers.
tricky.
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna say
a lot of girls looking for their father and these niggas too, girl.
think so?
No, I agree.
Yes, the fuck they are. Daddy issues. What you mean? Like, yes, they are.
You're right. There are a lot of women who have those daddy issues, but then the women who are really secure in themselves, they know they don't want a man like their father because a lot of the time, me personally, like, love Mizzy to death, but I get really tight with him sometimes because I'm like, you act just like Charles. And it puts me in this bubble of like, I don't want to date my father. I don't want to be in a bubble where I'm dating someone who has very similar characteristics to either my father or my mother. Because I feel like us in the Black community, when we grow, we realize how much childhood traumas, how much growing up within a Black household can be detrimental or even like very poignant in how we grow up. Like there's certain things I grew up with, and I'll speak to you guys as Black women like, oh, has your boyfriend ever done this or has your partner ever done this? And y'all looking at me like, bitch, no. And it's like, oh wow, but I seen that coming up in my childhood and I looked at that as a normalcy. But then there's people who have never experienced that ever because
they never had a father.
I have a
no.
question.
No, can I say this?
No, this is a woman chat.
No, look. She be tight when look, this is different. I don't ever organize when I like things step by step. So now she gets mad when I like things organized and step by step, and I point out or I advise, yo, maybe let's take this route. or maybe let's do it like this, A, B, C, D. She like, nah, let's go to Z. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. We gotta work through A, B, C, D. Then as we work through the letters, we gonna get to Z. She like, I'm getting to Z right now. So then that's when she comes in and be like, you remind me of Mr. Charles. And I'll be like, what?
So I got a question. I got a question, Mezzy. Mezzy, I got a question. Wait, Mezzy, I got a question. Mezzy, I got a question for you. When she say, I want to go straight to Z, is it because she knows that everything from E to Z is not going to work already?
No, but here's the thing, though. Sometimes,
exclamation.
No, but here's the
because
thing.
if I know everything from E to Z is not working, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna just go straight to Z.
Here's why I love me. Cause look, sometimes I'll be with her and I'll be like, let's jump out the window together. And she be like, babe, you sure? I'll be like, all right, yeah, I'm riding with you. Fuck it. Let's jump out the window. And we either going, and this is my favorite saying, we either going to fall flat on our face together, or we gonna land on our feet together.
We gonna fly.
So it's 3. But she added that. But either we gonna land on our feet or we gonna fall on our face. So now when I know deep down in my bones, because the difference between me and Tiz is I fell on my face a lot more times than she has. So now that's when I come in and I be like, I don't think that E to Z gonna work because I've been there before. And then that's when she kind of still a little reluctant. And she like, and then as I explain because of experience, she's like, you know what? I'm jacking that. You're right. My fault. It took me a little 5 to 10 minutes to understand your point of perspective.
Thank you. I have questions.
But other than that,
you're ruining it.
Other than that, though, that's the thing.
I'm on a schedule.
Because look, and I'm gonna let y'all know, I'm a little bit of a hothead, so I don't mind jumping out the window and falling on my feet. Because I know that's how I'm going to land. And I believe in the Most High. So now with that being said, yes.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Yes. No. So look, with that.
Thanks, Kitty. Like how they said all over hip hop. Thank you.
The truth hurts. This is why she beat me. The truth hurts. It can't handle the truth.
Okay. Thank you. The last question, y'all, because I know we're coming up on time and I don't want to take too much of your time. But Migo, shut up. Damn. Any of y'all want a dog? For real. But on a serious note, okay. The next question, because I didn't know if anybody wanted to have any more talking points towards Malik before I get to the next one. But this question is really good. What's a show you hate? And y'all gonna be mad at the one I choose, but
a show I hate.
Family Matters.
You know,
well, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Since we said Family Matters, I don't like watching, and don't get tight, but I don't like watching like Martin, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. What's that other show? The Jimmy Fox show. I never got into none of those shows.
Oh, here I go. Here
I've never like. I watch them just for background noise.
Martin is funny. Fresh Prince is funny.
I love Fresh Prince.
I love Fresh Prince.
You guys watch Reboot Bel-Air or no?
I hated that. Yeah, that's what show I hated. I hated it. I like
Bel-Air.
I hated it.
I love Bel-Air.
And then they got the nerve to make a second season. No.
I don't watch that.
I'm not gonna be mad, but I literally hate Girlfriends. I don't get it.
Me too.
I hate Girlfriends.
I hate Girlfriends, man.
I watched that show a second time as an older woman, and I fucking hated it, bro. Like that whole friendship was toxic.
Joan is a horrible friend.
Can I say Can we unpack Joan?
Joan is a horrible, jealous friend.
Can I say watching shows like that, because I don't know, we can like just talk about like the list that Tizzy sent, like the Parkers, Moesha, Girlfriends, stuff like that. Like watching it over in your 20s, like
ew.
Very much ew.
I love, just like y'all said, Joan was a bad friend, Tony was a bad friend, Maya was toxic, like, but like
Lynn just wanted to get high and get her degrees.
Boy, Lynn was a whole bum.
Lynn was a hobo.
Boy.
I was gonna say Lynn was a hobo.
Like,
it was the arm tattoo for me every time.
Yeah.
Like, Lynn, if you don't go
Every
get you a
time.
job,
and the unwashed hair, like that, boy, go comb your hair,
Like, you
bro.
fake hippie, go take a bath.
I literally, my favorite on Girlfriends though, I would have to say is Maya, because Maya kept it as real as possible. She didn't
Yeah.
like conceal her issues with Darnell and her son Jabari, but I feel like Joan and Tony kind of hit their issues from beginning to end. Like, y'all bitches don't fuck with each other. Why y'all
At
still
all.
maintaining this
At
friendship?
They were
all.
friends only
Boy.
because they were friends for a long time, and that is an
Yes.
interesting dynamic.
Look, that's another one.
Being
That's
friends with
another
somebody
one.
just because you've been
Y'all
friends
been
with them
friends.
for
Yeah.
a long time. Like, people grow up and people change, and like it's very natural for like you to not be friends anymore, especially
And
just
people don't understand that. Like, people
And
that
you
don't
don't
understand. It's okay for you to grow apart from somebody.
Literally.
Like,
And that's what people don't get. It's like, just because we're not friends no more, that doesn't mean I don't like you. It's beef. I just
right.
outgrew
Like,
you.
we just not
We don't
we're
vibe on the
not on
same
that level
levels
anymore.
no more.
Yeah.
You're here, I'm here. It's still love, but we just not here no more. Why is that an issue?
Okay.
No,
Can
but I love the aesthetic of the group. I'm sorry, Chelsea, go ahead.
I see you guys are saying how what's her name was a bum and all these things, and Tony didn't like it. Okay, I found this funny. It all went back to Joan. Joan had no boundaries, which is why Tony was able to. I mean, why the girl, I forget her name, the bum. Lynn was
The
able
bum.
to live off
The bomb.
this is why Lynn was able to live off her, and that's why Tony was an absolute narcissist, a walking narcissist. I don't
Yeah.
think he had any
Yes, Tony
feeling
really was.
towards Joan.
A whole narcissist. I don't even understand how they let her have a baby.
And the reason why those two people could literally live and be close to Joan the way she was is because Joan was a people-pleasing, boundaryless idiot. And
Very true.
And Joan just wanted to be in love.
That's it.
Mhm.
Joan just wanted consistency.
That's all she wanted.
She just wanted to be in
She had
love.
everything else. She had the law career. She
Like,
was
you
eating
could
sushi
tell
every
she ain't have no
Tuesday.
love
She
as
had
a
the
child,
hangout
boy. She
crib.
was
They
feeding
had
for
the
some
spot.
love.
Can I
Diana
ask?
Ross was her mother.
I'm dead. Can I ask? Have y'all been? Which friend have y'all been in like the Tony and Joan situation? Because I feel like, and I'm being honest, I've been both.
I was just about to say that I could see myself being a Joan very with certain friends, but then Tony being very like petty and like doing little shit to like make sure my friend knows, like, bitch, yeah, stop fucking around.
I've definitely been both.
Oh no. I'm talking
Ah.
about the negative, the toxic, like the bad, the Tony, the like breaking
Joan. I'm more the Joan.
boundaries. I'm saying I've been both. Honestly, I know I have been. And growing up and all that, I've probably been both. Not probably, I have been both.
I've been more of a Tony. Not really Joan. I've been more Tony.
Yeah, I'm a recovered Tony. Like,
I feel like I'm
Not facts. I felt
I
that.
feel like I'm more of a
that.
Joan.
Me too,
I
Jay.
feel like I'm more of a Joan because, like, more recently, I'm just learning, like, to put boundaries down with my friends, say no, like, you feel me? Just kind of have to be a bitch. So I think now I'm stepping out of my Joan phase and, you know.
Entering a Tony
I feel the same as Chelsea, a recovered Tony, but like,
we'll
have the little, like her little positive attributes too, mix in with like Joan's little positive attributes, like mixing. You gotta learn to be like a perfect balance of them.
Yeah.
In your
to be totally honest, this is my next question for you guys. If you could be one character on Girlfriends, and I'll start, who would you be? And I low-key feel like I would be the the Lynn, because Lynn decides, let me get a bunch of degrees and let me just now I want a Mac. Like, I'm cool. I just want to stay away from my life.
I was gonna say that.
That's literally me. I'm the Lynn. Like, all right, I did the degrees.
She's lying.
Now I want to go forward and be more copacetic.
I know she's lying.
I think I'm more of the Maya.
Shay said William.
I could be William too. I'm pretty
Look.
William didn't give a fuck though. William
I would definitely
out.
I'm William, bro. Like, I'm just calm. I
You're
show up,
definitely
I
the
watch y'all
William.
while out, and I did. Like,
you're definitely the William.
William was a little bit of a simp though.
He was. Keisha,
but I
right?
am.
Keisha
I'm hopeless
Sharp?
romantic, and I am. I can't.
Okay.
I would be Tony.
We love self-awareness.
I'm not even gonna try to deny it. Like,
A little dramatic, the whole thing where, like, I guess she, like, left the baby or something for a little while, and they were like, oh my God.
It's not funny.
Like, it's nothing. I thought that was I
So
really
look-
liked Tony at the end. I feel like they really came for her.
So look,
Her argument
Ooh.
with Tony Chelsea.
You know what show I do like though? I don't know if y'all watch, but I think it's a really good highlight of Black love, Black friendship in a positive way. It's Harlem.
I haven't started that yet, but
I
I heard
haven't
about it.
watched
It's
that.
on Prime, right? With Megan
Yes.
Good and
Megan
the girl from
Good
Empire.
and yeah, facts. I love that show. The second season just ended, but that's a good representation of like the real
I
Black
feel
girl
like a
friendship.
good representation of Black friendship and Black love is Insecure. Like, it's a real representation to me.
Yes.
Like, it's a very real
Ooh, but okay,
representation.
since we're talking about Insecure, let's talk about that fallout. We're gonna talk about that fallout.
That was the realest fallout I ever watched
Who
on
was
TV.
right
Molly
and who was
Ever.
wrong? Who was right and who was wrong?
I feel like Molly was wrong.
I feel like Molly was right.
I don't know, because Molly always did have that like nose up to Issa, but she was
Right.
always there for Issa.
Yeah,
my
I was
thing
about
is
to say,
Issa,
I feel
you
like
know,
Molly had the nose up because that's just Molly. Like, she's a nose up type of bitch. Like, and I feel
especially
like
when she was
because
fucking that girl husband. Like, how dare
exactly,
you?
like she just the nose up type of bitch. Like, and I feel like as Issa being her friend for so long, she knows that. So a lot of the ways Molly was acting, it's like, bro, this shit been your friend. Like, you know this how she act. Like, this is not new to you. Like, yeah, and she's always here for you. Like,
I have a bad confession. I haven't watched past the first episode of Insecure. It triggered me. I don't know.
No,
What
the
it
first episode did trigger me too. Broken pussy, yeah, definitely.
Wait, what was the first episode again? How
When
did
her and Molly went out, well, when she found out whatchamacallit, Jay was not working. Well, her boyfriend wasn't working for 5 years, Jay, whatever his name was. And then I forgot Lawrence. He wasn't working for 5 years. So she decided to go out with Molly to like some club where her ex nigga was like a producer. I forgot his Daniel, the Kappa.
Daniel?
Yeah, and she wound up rapping because Dan was like, go rap on stage, go do your little freestyle. And she was talking about her friend Molly, who at the time was having issues sleeping around. So she said her friend had broken pussy, but that would have put me through trauma too. Imagine your friend freestyling about
now
your
you're making me
problems.
want to go rewatch Insecure.
Me too.
I need to.
Broken pussy.
I think that Issa got mad at Molly because Molly finally said no about something. But I also
boundary.
They like it, like Shay said, that was like the realest fallout ever. Like it was like they went through an awkward phase and like a little fake phase.
Oh, it's kind of fake. Like
it was very fake. It was so fake. Like it was like
we've all been there with a friend. Like after something real happens and it's like, ooh, I don't know how to. Let me check your temperature every single time I see you until it's like natural. That was real.
I don't know because I never had a friend I wanted back.
Nah.
I never had a friend I wanted back.
Me neither.
Sorry.
Me neither.
That's
Once
very
you
true.
go,
When your
you
friend was
go.
being weird,
Yeah,
I usually just
That's
let
just me
them
though.
hear from a
If
distance.
I actually cut you off as a friend, I'm good off you. There's
Yeah.
no fixing nothing because
If
it's never
I
the
cut
same.
you off, it's
It's
good.
never
We're
the
good.
same.
That's
So
that
we're not even
fire
about to
sign
try.
aesthetic.
We're not even about to try.
That's that
Stay
fire
where
sign
you at.
aesthetic. Once we're
Because you know
done,
how much it
yeah.
took for me to cut you off?
Yo,
Like, you know how much
you know
it took for me to cut you off? Like,
nah, I'm good.
I was giving you
I'm good.
chance after chance after chance after chance,
I'm
and you
good.
finally pissed me the fuck off. So I had to.
Facts.
let
Yeah,
you go.
ain't no
but
fixing
see,
a
that's why
friendship.
I kind of agree with both Molly and Issa in a way. Like, I'm all for Molly holding down her boundaries. Like, yeah, say no. But in the same sense, it's like, you're going to say no about this. You're going to be so hard in your no about this, bro.
About this,
like, that's
big
not
Molly
your
was
friend.
wrong.
But I
She was
think that's that point. It don't matter what it is, big or small. You get tired of people treating you any kind of way, friendship,
true.
whatever.
She was
You know,
being
and
rude.
Molly got to
That's
that
true.
point. She got tired of being Issa's second choice. Like, you're my best friend, bro. Why you you only calling me when you need something? You feel
was
me?
a
She didn't
bunch
even
of
call
things.
Molly.
that.
You know that whole
Issa
time they
was
were talking
doing
about
that.
she called Molly because she needed some advice. And Molly was waiting to see if she was gonna call to let's fix his friendship. Now you calling me
Oh,
because
yeah.
you still need
Yeah.
help with something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What?
And Issa did call her
And that's
out
why
for
I say
sleeping with
Molly
Joe.
wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
Can I ask
She
you
did,
questions?
and she was mad about that.
So 3 questions. All right. So
One question.
So no, Tiz put me on the Insecure.
You got 3 questions.
Yeah, 3 questions. So,
One.
So Tiz put me on the Insecure, right? So who?
He didn't watch anything.
So the Molly's the white girl.
No.
Who's the white?
No.
Molly's the Nigerian
What
one.
white girl?
I'm sorry. So wrong show.
What are you talking about? Thank you.
Yeah,
Now,
get out of here, Mizzy. Wrong show.
what is he talking about, white girl? But no,
Why?
so now I have to ask you guys, what aesthetic do you feel like you are in the insecure friend group? You got Kelly, you got
That's you.
that's definitely
Anytime I see Kelly,
That's
I'm like,
definitely me.
Chantel.
I always
Chantel,
think-
like that's your whole personality right there, bro.
I love Kelly.
Like, I love her. I
Me
love
and
Kelly.
Bonnie.
I love Kelly.
The funniest shit though on Insecure, because I really felt like one with Kelly when it was like she went back to college and nigga said she died. I feel like Oswego would do some
Yo,
shit
I knew
like
you was
that
gonna
to
say
me.
that episode. I knew you was gonna say that.
I feel like Oswego would do some shit like that to me, like Chantel was so great, and I pull up to the reunion like, Mary, what's going
I'm
going
sorry, y'all.
on?
I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm smacked. But I thought y'all was talking about Euphoria. I never seen it.
No, sir, that's not a
I'm
black
sorry.
show. Sorry, that's not a black show.
That's not a black
Not a
show.
black show. No matter how half Zendaya may be, that's not a black show.
Since we on
It's
the
not.
topic though of TV and we're talking about, I don't
Yes.
like how you all these shows like put so much sexual shit and like. And, like,
We
I'm
were
trying to
just
figure out.
talking
Let
about
me
that.
like, 'cause listen.
I
we
hate
not
that
gonna act
shit.
like angels. We know friends was having sex in high school, but we wasn't wilding like that. Like
That's my thing. Like,
At
even
all,
with
like, yo,
at
have
this
all.
is
suggestive
crazy.
nature.
No,
Like, all right, we can't.
y'all
sleep with-
wasn't wilding like that, but there were females that were.
I'm
giving
telling
it
you,
like
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
there were,
was.
but my thing is like, as
The
us as
majority
black
of
females,
people
it
our
wasn't
age, we was not
glorified.
moving like that. We was not like,
But
yeah, we
that's
had
my
a few,
thing.
but our
White
generation,
women
bro,
were
we
more
drunk
so
our
the
little four
demographic that was
locos.
busting it loose.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah,
drank
Remember
four
Hazel
locos,
and
we
like
drunk
Degrassi?
they was
margaritas.
popping pills,
Not a
doing
poor
coke, doing
loco.
E, all that in high school.
Gangsta, and we
That's
was
All
my
smoking
that.
green.
thing.
We was smoking greens,
Exactly.
bro.
All we was
Being
doing was
regular
That's
that.
kids.
Like
But y'all
that's it.
forget
Smoking
though,
We was
green.
smoking
Right.
greens. Who the fuck
excellent.
knew
Smoking
about
green.
pills and shit in high school?
Bad versus
What
being
the
good.
fuck?
Come
I
on.
just feel like white
Gangsta.
women were more of the stigma to just bust it open than black women were back in the day.
Absolutely.
Like black women,
Absolutely.
you would be like, "Oh no, thank you." Like Hazel from Degrassi, Drake was pressuring her every time, like, "Come on, come on." She's like,
Also,
but then Emma was busting it open, like
these kids are different.
very much that, very much
They
that.
Kids
are.
are just smoking weed. They want to be as high as possible.
They
Like
trying to
have
do
Facts.
13. I just
Facts.
It don't hurt. Perk 10.
And
I just popped a perk
Kids are
10. Perk 30. I
30.
just popped a perk
So
30. Like,
Two
all
come
that.
perks. I just
on.
popped
That's
2 perks.
it's real
No, but
catchy, but guess
literally,
what? You know how these kids is going to buy fucking perks now though, and they probably buying the fake perks at that. Come
Yeah, they
on.
buying the big perks.
They buying the fake
Like,
perks.
Nah,
the big
y'all
perks.
forgetting what they do is, like I said, they focus on y'all versus. It's more of, let me put it politically correct. It's more white people indulging in certain hallucinogens, however
Oh,
you
we
want
know
to.
that.
we know that.
So now what it is
They love them opioids.
so now what it is for the
Love them bad.
let's just say for the 30% of African Americans that's indulging on these different drugs that we never indulged in before, they're gonna focus in on the 30% and make it seem like it's the 70%. So let's stop making it seem like we don't know these politics. That's just the truth of the matter.
All it is conditioning though.
yes.
Like that's literally all it is. It's social conditioning. Like they focus on our group so they could tell the world that the black people are the lowest,
The black
dirtiest,
people, that's what I'm
druggiest,
saying.
most
Like,
crackheaded
That's what I'm
people
saying.
on
It's
earth.
all
Like,
lies. And that's why I'm always so big on like communication research, because communication research has showed we're the highest in spending, we're the highest in buying, we're the highest graduating rate as black women. But they will
the
tell
black
you
dollar is the most important thing
the
on
crazy
this
thing
planet
about
right
it
now.
is, the
Mhm.
crazy
Right
thing
now.
about it is, my Spanish friends was fucking doing acid and shit and all that shit at fucking 16 before any black person I knew
I
was
saw my
popping
first
pills or
crack rock
anything.
and I
If we
Boy,
really
in
gonna
high
talk
school,
about
ninth
it,
grade, in high
bitches
school,
was
ninth
doing
grade, my
Molly
white
and shit,
friend
acid
Joe
and all
came to
that, bro.
school. My white
right?
friend Joe came to school, second period, like, yo, Shay, coke, best drug in the world. You got to try it. 14 years old, bro. You think I was doing coke at
But
14?
we the problem.
But
But we the
exactly.
problem. We
But
are always
that's
the
what they think
targeted
is in
group.
our
I hate that
neighborhoods.
shit.
Nah, but look, y'all forgetting a lot of these, like majority of like the drugs y'all just talked about. Excuse me, y'all. Majority of the drugs y'all just talked about, when a white person does it, what do they like? Not saying all of them, but when a Caucasian person does it, what happens? They either a doctor, they either a lawyer,
No,
Not
hell
all of them.
no.
Not
Hell
all of
no.
them. Not all of
Hell
them.
no.
Not all of them. Like I said,
Not any of them.
Not
That's
all
the
of them.
Not
key.
any of
Nah.
them. Like this much of them.
This
Like
much,
this much
like a
of
1%
them.
margin.
Here's the difference,
You
though.
giving white people too much credit
No,
right now,
I'm not.
Mizzy.
No, I'm not.
So that's the
You
problem. Yes,
are.
you
I'm
are.
giving you what the world.
Yes, you
I'm gonna be.
are,
Look,
bro.
No,
look.
you're giving what
White
the world
people are
decides
becoming
to
the
invest in.
minority. Let's
Right.
talk about it.
Exactly.
White people
Let's
are the
really talk
fucking
about that.
minority now.
That's
I'ma
why all
be
of this
like,
is
That's the
happening because they're
problem
becoming a
right there,
minority.
bro.
So now, with that being said, this is what happened. Look, and I'm gonna tell y'all, because look, y'all know it.
30
y'all,
seconds.
Y'all have experienced it. The minute we come to work high, everybody look at us like we drug addicts.
Well, that's anybody.
No, that's not anybody.
We could come.
Stop.
We could.
What?
No, I'm saying that's anybody as black people. We could
No.
come up high off of freaking Tylenol, Aleve, and niggas is like, you
Yo,
good?
Look, that's
You
the,
okay?
That's
We
the,
could come with a frown on our face. You good?
But
You
that's the
okay?
point.
Like,
that's the point.
I'm just angry.
That's
I was
the
late.
point. That's the point. The minute we give in, when they say like certain drugs open up your third eye and everything like that, they look at us like we're the bottom of the bottom. So no, that's the
But
thing.
they don't know. That's what you think. They know we not the bottom of the bottom.
Right.
They
No,
know
but
And
for a
that's
fact
why
we
they
not the bottom
portray
of the
it.
bottom.
They
And
know
that's
we're
why
not
the
the
why
bottom
they
of
message
the
act
is
like
barrel.
that.
sent through
But that's
us.
They know
Listen,
that for
the
a
whole
fact.
point of
Make
this
us
convo,
feel
can I
that
say
way.
something right quick?
Yeah.
Just like you say, boom, we gonna relate it to Tyler Perry. They know what black people are capable of. They know what the fuck we do.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's why they portray us, anything, entertainment, music, is all in a negative light.
Look
Because
at hip
That's
hop.
why
don't
anything
want
that
us
give
to
us
have
any
that.
type of power, we
That's
can't
killing
partake
people.
in. Like
Come on, like how many of us know
anything
people who
that
went
give
to
us any
school,
type of
work,
leeway,
all
any
of
type
that?
of power
Black people
over
that
them,
really
we
get
can't
shit
partake in.
done.
We're not
But they
allowed
not
to
gonna
do.
tell us
Like,
that. What are you
Exactly.
talking about,
And to
bro?
piggyback
What
off
are
of
you
that,
talking
guys, my
about?
last question, because I don't want to hold y'all too long. We're a little bit over
Nah, I
time.
like this convo. I'm on here. I like
No,
this
good,
convo.
I'm here. Like,
I'm
good,
here.
we good.
good. I love it. But the next question is: do you see any of these themes that they put in TV, radio, etc., in your waking life, like that? But we just spoke on it. So basically, like the themes they trying to implicate into our cultures that all we do is for one, baby moms. That's like the big stigma for black women. We have out of wedlock kids. The second stigma for black women is that we're uneducated and angry when we speak or are passionate. And then the last stigma, of course, for black women is that we usually don't come from a home with fathers. We grow up in single mother homes. So what themes do you guys see in your waking life and movies?
I also want to add one more stigma.
Mhm.
I also want to add one more stigma: the connection between homosexuals and sex and trauma. Like,
Yes!
gay does not automatically equal
Thank
sex and trauma.
you.
There's
I
no
hate
reason
that.
why every time you
They always
introduce
Yeah.
gay people
sexual
onto a
trauma
screen,
to
we having sex in the next scene.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see gay people cutting themselves, doing drugs, having sex. Like, that's not all we do. Can I be a lawyer? Can I go to the store? Can I eat some food? I want to do something else.
And that's another thing. How to Get Away with Murder was actually the first show that showed me a woman could be prominent and heavy in her career and also be gay, because Annalise was gay.
And you know what? That's the whole point, though. Annalise had all this shit going on, and guess what? They still gave her a white fucking husband.
Oh, what?
Why can't we ever see
a white girlfriend? A white girlfriend, like
same with Scandal though. Olivia was so
family.
empowered. She was fucking the president, the white president.
Thank you. Like,
even
why
on
can't the black
commercials,
bitch
like
be with
even
a prominent
as
black
little as
man?
30-second commercials where you see a family. It's a mixed family. It's never
always a
a
mixed
black
family.
family.
It's always a mixed
It's always
family,
a mixed
bro.
family.
Tired. And it's always the white husband. Like, come on, like
always the white
love
husband.
that, but do we not have regular black families
I'm not
anymore?
gonna lie, I don't. I want to see regular black families because I know mad regular black fucking
I don't
families,
care
bro.
how it sounds.
I don't want to
hate
see that
interracial
shit, bro.
couples.
Like,
I hate
don't
it.
think
I don't care how it sounds.
No, I don't give a fuck about no
I hate
interracial
it.
couple, bro. Like, yeah, y'all cute,
Chelsea's
but
like,
bro,
like,
out of
I
all
don't
the
hear
people
nothing,
that look
bro.
like you can it's mad different kinds of black people, bro.
Mad different black
shapes and
people.
forms. You had to go find somebody completely outside of your race. Now I'm looking at you funny. What was you talking about?
no funny shit.
No.
I'm not against interracial marriage. If you find somebody outside the black community who want to take you and put you as a queen, go ahead, Sheba, do what you got to do. But my thing is, make sure when you're dating this white man, this Asian man, this Pakistani man, that you're letting him know that you're a black woman. Don't sit there and put yourself in a bubble where you feel like you have to change because your partner is another race. That's the only thing I have with interracial dating. Because 9 times out of 10, A lot of Black women are tired of Black men. I don't know what the whole discourse is on social media right now, but there is a discourse about Black men not standing up for Black women and Black women hating Black men.
And that's the problem with everything, all these agendas
Messaging.
that they push, bro. Because listen,
Agenda.
are you not in a healthy Black relationship right now?
You Black? Missy grandma is Venezuelan though. So.
Like, come on, no, but we know people who are in healthy Black relationships. We know Black men that hold down their home.
Missy
We know
is
Black
indigenous.
women who take care of niggas who don't got shit going for them. But social media, what have you, arguing all day. Black niggas don't do this.
Nah,
Black girls don't do that. But we know people every single day make shit happen. Black people who make this shit happen every day. So
I don't like the stigma that Black men are not doing anything. That's not true. Like I don't like that
okay,
stigma.
but look, but you have to understand
Chelsea
it's not
has
a
something to
stigma.
say.
With
Chelsea.
my ex,
Oh,
All right,
sorry.
Chelsea, go ahead. Sorry, I'm muting. Everybody mute. I'm sorry.
with my Irish ex-boyfriend, let me come up with my hot take now. I think that love and finding the compatible partner is gonna be hard and rare. We all have our standards, especially if your standards are high and you're awakened. It's gonna be hard and rare. If you want to prioritize race and make sure the person was within your race and within your group, absolutely, that's just gonna make the seek harder. There's a whole continent of Black people that we are not near. It's gonna make the seek harder. However, more power to you. But I don't think you should shame or doubt the Blackness of somebody who maybe is more open-minded and looking for a particular person and does not care what color they come in. And that's my spiel.
Chelsea said interracial love, and that's it. She said Serena
Nah,
Williams.
facts.
no, okay.
She's like, we're
Chelsea, I got a
blended. She's like,
rebuttal
we're
for you.
blended, okay?
Like, okay,
Like-
okay. I don't like cool. You date who you want, but you don't feel like this person is not Black like me. So how can you be with somebody who does not 100% understand you? You don't understand what I go through when I walk outside, how these people look at me when I step into an interview, when they hear my name is Jade. Always trying to tell me people like look at your last name. How does it feel when you walk into a room with a bunch of white people? You got to tell them how to speak to you and shit. But this is a man you're laying next to. You don't really know you.
Okay, do you think that Black men, and as not as a group, but like typically when you encounter one, do you think they understand what it is to be a Black woman? Do we think we understand what it is to be a Black man?
Of course not. Of course I don't understand what it's like to be a Black man, but I'm gonna understand him more as opposed to a white man.
But
we live in two different fucking worlds.
Yeah, but you're still gonna have to translate yourself to everybody you encounter.
I have a question,
hold on,
Chelsea.
and there's white men and there's Black men who don't give a fuck about exploring and understanding you. They will sleep with you. They'll even take care of you and your kids, and they won't give a fuck about your experience. Black men, white men, Asian men, every man. I've dated all of them. I'm not saying I've dated a lot of people, just I've dated a very diverse array.
You're wrong. You could date as many men as
Even
you
if
want.
you
Okay, wait. Before you answer your question, Chelsea,
Date them
so
all,
you
Chelsea.
dated them. Would you actually marry them?
I'm going into divorce law. So my priorities on what marriage is, who I split assets with, hoping I accrue a lot of assets, is a little more psycho. I don't give a fuck about your race. I care about a lot of things when it comes to splitting assets with kids, and race is not one of them. I'm gonna profit off of the shit show. I mean, sorry, I shouldn't say that. There's gonna be a lot of shit shows out there, and I'm already learning how to divide things that have turned into messes. And so that is teaching me what's a priority. And I'm telling you, hold on, race is so important because you don't want to be with someone who's colorist, racist, anything of the sort. You don't want to be with a person who doesn't have your priorities and you in mind, but you're not going to benefit by deciding, and of course you're not saying this, but by deciding because you're Black, you're going to protect my interests, you're going to do this. No.
Right.
No. You will be there, a brown woman with a brown man cheating. A Black woman with a Black man traumatized. A Black woman with a white man traumatized. Like all of it. And so there's a lot to think about in marriage, and race is important in the sense of protecting me and my kids, because I don't want to be with a husband. Let's say I do marry a white man. I don't think that'll happen, but you know, if that's what happened and I married a white man, I don't want to be there and they're okay. Oh, this girl in Oswego actually, who she was half white, half black, and she had a Nigerian dad and a white mom. And oh my God, this girl was so anti-black, and so like she felt so superior. She called my skin color dirt once. Like she felt so superior to me because she was half white. I don't want to raise that kind of child, and there are a lot of black people raising
that. Oswego, you say? Oh,
there are going to be a lot of black men, and that is something to be aware of. But there will be a lot of black families that are raising anti-black, very traumatized people. Like it's just, I don't know. Like
we all fucked up. Everything is fucked
Okay,
up.
so I have a question.
Oh,
I have a question, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I have a question. So you say that it doesn't really matter because as much as, you know, it's not about race because, you know, if you find somebody who have your interests at heart and all that. I'm going to use the show, what is it? The All American as an example.
Great show.
Tay Diggs and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Tay Diggs and his wife have a great relationship. She's not anti-black at all. She makes sure that her kids know about their culture. He's not anti-black at all. Like that's a healthy representation of an interracial relationship, in my opinion. But there's an episode where his son has a run-in with the police and still is very unaware of how to act.
Lost. He was lost as to
So
what to do because he thought he was a white man, a white boy living.
Because exactly, he was so far removed. He was so far removed from the daily issues that black people go through, and it was like my thing is like, yeah, all of that is cool. His mother's an ally. They're involved with their culture, but don't you feel like there's always will be some kind of disconnect? Like I'm not like I don't judge nobody. Like if you love who you want to love, be who you want to be with. But at the end of the day, like if even as a person, I personally root for people of color even more than white people, because even a person of color has some kind of understanding as to what I'm going through as a black person than a white person could ever understand.
Okay.
So even if they are the perfect ally, they are very understanding. They know everything that's going on. They make sure that they go to bat for black people even before you and your marriage and your kids. Like, don't you think that there's still some kind of disconnect?
Okay, so absolutely.
I like this convo. I like this convo.
Of dating someone that's outside of your race, there's gonna be factors that are unavoidable, and they're gonna be there. But there's gonna be factors in every marriage. There's gonna be disconnects in every marriage, and that's what I'm saying. Like there's certain conversations you will avoid, and there's certain conversations that you will have, no matter who your partner is. Okay, I'll stop my plan.
I have to say before I lose my thought, Blackness is a very, 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 very unique experience, and it's not any. You're gonna have that in any relationship because Blackness is a very unique experience, and there's just certain things that a person of color is not gonna understand that a Black person understands, and I think that's what everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I guess like it's how much you value someone empathizing with you versus sympathizing. Do you need in your household to be empathized with versus sympathized?
Of course, doesn't everybody need that in their household?
Absolutely.
Of course they
I don't want your sympathy. I could care less about your sympathy. Your empathy I do need though.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't.
Chelsea said, "Fuck
wait,
you."
that's wait.
But look, but I was gonna say,
Wait, can I ask? Can you explain why?
But look, I think with a Black person, you're not gonna need either of those things.
What do you?
So
yeah. And also, Chelsea, you mentioned something about a Black person laying with you, fucking with you, treating you right, doing all of that, and still not understanding your experience. But that would be them not understanding their experience as like. Say you're with another Black man, he doesn't understand Chelsea's experience.
He doesn't.
I'm sure he partially understands the experience of a Black woman. He may not understand your personal experience because he's getting to know you, but I'm sure as a Black man, he understands. He has some kind of understanding of a Black person's experience.
He understands being Black in America. He doesn't understand being a Black woman in America. And depending on his empathy and his own journey and how much he's committed to it, same thing with the white man, anybody, then he can expand himself to really sympathize, but he can never empathize. That's every person. That's the journey of being with a partner, is being with someone who can sympathize, but can't empathize, especially if they're of the opposite gender, sex, identity, different things like that. Then, it's going to be limits. There's going to be barriers, and there's going to be more barriers with one person than there are going to be with other people. But I think that when I prioritize the things that I prioritize in a partnership, I find, you know, I don't find those commonalities to really be making or breaking a successful relationship for me. I think they're just a factor, something that's maybe even easy. Yeah, I would say maybe, yeah, definitely easier. But not making or breaking, just a factor that is eased.
Okay, one more question. Is this some way that you've always felt, or did something happen for you to feel this way?
This is something that I've always felt. I mean, I grew up, my stepmom's Chinese. My little brother's
Okay.
half Chinese, black. My stepdad was half French, half black. My mom's fiance now, she's getting married soon, because they got divorced. But my stepdad was not a great person. But so she's engaged now, and this man is fully African American. And I mean, I've just grown up very, very exposed to different cultures, and I treasure my childhood for it. I treasure who I've developed to become for it, because I feel like I've learned so many beautiful things from being exposed to so many different cultures. I feel like my journey has been enriched, not harmed. And I'm not saying that harm doesn't happen, but harm happens in every family, in every home. I've had harm happen in having an Asian stepmom. I've had harm happen in having just my black mom, and I've had harm happen with my Guyanese dad and our extended families. Harm happens in every home, and enrichment and protection and love and best intentions happen in every home if you pick a decent partner.
Okay, Missy, go ahead.
All right. So if my papa,
Oh, excuse me.
the only reason why my papa is not in my life today is because he passed away. So if my dad never passed away, me personally, due to my dad, I wouldn't have experienced certain things, certain harm that I've experienced as just me by myself. And with that being said, it's weird because, like I said, my dad, man, this is my dad right here. Best man alive. Like, he was my best friend. And he passed away when I was 15. And it wasn't perfect, but as I'm becoming a man, the things he introduced me to was just straight wisdom, knowledge, and strength. And he wasn't perfect himself, but me having my dad in my life has made the best impact in my life, and probably saved me in certain points and certain times when I was thinking of dumb little things that I shouldn't be thinking about. Mm-hmm. But I say that to say, to the original point with Black relationships, when me and Tiz was in Florida and we was in a predominantly white area, I was with somebody that when I felt, I don't usually feel weird. And mind you, I'm somebody, because me and Tiz have these Blue Lives Matter debates all the time. And I'm Blue Lives Matter. So, and she tells me coon and all of that, because, and I say that
yeah, because I was just about to call you. What you mean?
What, bro? Like, what
you mean by that one?
That shit in Georgia, like, nigga, shut up.
I say that because, no, you know why? Because even in Georgia, you know what your boy was doing? Open carry. No cop, nobody stopping me, nobody looking at me out of body, nothing like that. So now I say that to say,
you don't think that has anything to do with Georgia being Republican?
Yeah.
Hold on. And I'm gonna get to.
I don't. Okay, continue.
I'm gonna get to all the good. I've never had a racist experience with a cop till this day.
Exactly. That's exactly why you can have that thinking.
So now look.
Never.
So no. Wait. Hold on. Not to say that.
Excuse me. There's a law woman here. Thank you.
Hold on. Not to say
there's a woman in law.
Hold on. Not to say that it doesn't exist, but I know my father taught me how to carry myself. So till this day, I've never had, and Tiz always says, I pray you don't. Till this day, I've never had an racist experience with a police officer of Georgia, Florida, none of that. I've trust me, I've gotten out of speeding tickets where I'm going 90 and a 60.
No, it'd be a fertility bar right here.
Oh, now look, I say not to stray from
I'm
the
not in
point,
my head
but
right now.
when
I wonder.
it goes to black relationships, when me and Tiz was in Florida and we was in a predominantly white area,
Yeah. Can you give it to you?
I told her as my partner, I was like, yo, because
Yeah.
I don't let nothing faze me.
Thank
I
you.
told her, I'm like, yo, I could feel these unnecessary
Yeah.
eyes on me, and they're making me feel as if I don't belong. And Tiz was like, I agree. Tiz wasn't paying attention, or she was paying attention, but she wasn't as attentive as I was in the situation where, you know, I'm looking good. I got on a white tracksuit and I'm standing out. Not standing out in the sense of I'm the flashiest guy in the room, but standing out in the sense of you ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm in a white fucking tracksuit.
30 seconds.
I'm in a white tracksuit. I'm looking good, and I'm with my woman. So now you could see and you could feel the tension. And as a black couple, we felt that together. But to this extent, like I said, Tiz wasn't paying it no mind. But when I mentioned something to her, and this is more so for Chelsea, when I mentioned something to her, she was like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but don't pay that no mind, babe. Ooh, come on.
I had a
You know
similar
what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I had a similar experience with the Irish ex-boyfriend. We went into a bar, near our hometown in Long Island, but closer to his house. Although my area is way worse. He actually went to a more predominantly black. He went to the predominantly black high school, and that was like, it was in like a rough district, and my dad put me in the district where I got called the NIGGER on my prom limo. And so we went to a back alley area of closer to, but anyway, so we were in Long Island, and we went to this bar, and silence. They went from talking at a bar on the weekend, football playing, to silence and staring at us. Like, it was eerie. And of course I was like, I think that this is racial. And he was like, yeah. And he was terrified, and he got us out of there. So, like, I mean,
there are a few people that's going to resonate with you, and here's what, and look, and I'm going to say this because in my short stint in Florida, when I thought these Irish dudes was Italian, it was like, we ain't no fucking Guineas. And I looked at him like, nigga, you a Guinea. And he like, nigga, I ain't no Guinea. Like, you could hear in his tone and the way he talked, like he went through the same, not the same, but he went through similar experiences where he could relate to us. So now,
he can't though.
No, he can't. He can't.
He could never. It's never
no.
And indentured servitude is not equal to chattel.
But here's where I agree
at all.
Here's where I agree to disagree. It's not to say he can't feel. He didn't do 300 years of slavery. So yes, but at the same time, there's certain people that could relate to our experiences because their family went through something similar or traumatizing to a certain extent. So now look what she just said.
5 seconds.
Well, hold on. Look what Chesley just said.
Wrap it up.
Her boyfriend understood at the time.
Boyfriend.
What's going on? Like, yeah, you right. This shit airy. So now you have people who can relate, not 100%, but at least 70, 50. That's enough. That's more than enough to understand what the situation is about to, like, okay, yeah, this ain't for us. We got to get up out of here.
Are they relating or are they just understanding how I feel?
Exactly.
Because you can't relate if you haven't been there. It's not relation.
Never experienced, right? I agree.
Exactly.
You can understand.
You can understand how I feel. That doesn't mean
it's easy to understand. I understand the Jewish people went through the Holocaust. I understand that. But to relate to that, I cannot relate.
So now look, if in his mind, his grandmama or his grandma was an indentured servant or something close to what a slave might feel like.
Can't.
I'm not saying it's the same, but they're going to come off, and this goes to the topic at
Wrap
hand.
it up.
Hold on.
Wrap it up.
This shit too juicy.
It is juicy, but wrap it up. Exactly. Wrap it up. Because I have one last question. It's a Saturday.
But I don't want y'all to crucify me because at the end of the day, I'm black. I'm not white.
Okay.
So I have to choose my words very carefully because, like I said, I've never put myself in a position to experience those devilish, feelings. But I say that to say sorry because I'm smacked.
Hurry it up. Yeah,
but
hurry it up.
You know what? You're right.
Thank you.
Look, you're right. You're right.
Thank you.
You're right. You're right.
He made his point. The last question. Yes.
Can I push on?
Yeah, go ahead, Chelsea, and then I'll get the last question because I know we've been on here for 2 hours. I don't want to take too much of you guys' time, but I have one last question that I think will close out really good, but after Chelsea's point.
Thank you. Okay, so the one thing I wanted to harp on is, yes, like, while people, non-Black people can't relate to our particular experience as Black people, and anti-Blackness in the entire globe that we experience, which is terrifying and deadly, the white supremacy is not something that only touches us. And so I think that's what he was getting at. So, like, the Irish potato famine, the deliberate killing of Irish people, like the stigmatization and the narrative of them being savages, the Celtic slaughters that happen, I think, does give. That is the first. Before they came to us, they went to them and they did those things. And that speaks to that's the origin. That's the hate. That's the hate that we experience. It's the same hate that brought our history that did that to them. Like, it's just this, I don't know what to call it, like this white supremacy mindset that spreads. That spreads all over the globe to people who don't fit into that. So Anglo-Saxon Christian narrative. So Jewish people, in history, Irish people. Today, I would say they've achieved a level of safety in America, but Italian people at one point. And so I'm not saying that to say that they can empathize, sympathize, or anything of the sort. They do not relate to the Black experience, but I am saying that to say that there is a similarity in the sense of the oppression that we experience is rooted in the same oppression as everybody else who's been oppressed by white supremacists. It's the same root. It's just executed particular to us in a horrific way. I hope I make sense.
I disagree. It makes absolutely sense, but it makes sense, but I disagree.
Okay, yeah.
Because I feel like the only people who can say that it was closely rooted in the same thing that our discrimination was rooted in are Jewish people.
Interesting.
Outside of that, and that's close, and that's not even. I'm sorry.
Not Indian people, not Asian people, like the opioid crisis. No, nobody else, just us.
Indigenous people.
Yeah, not indigenous
because
people.
I personally feel like, people were oppressed because of hate and colorism and all of that stuff. And yes, they went through all of those people. They went through all those people before they got to us. But in 2023, right now in 2023, the effects of what happened to us, we're basically the only the still group of people that still have to deal with all the effects of what happened to us. Because yes, there's a lot of stuff happened to Asian people, a lot of stuff happened to Indians, but there's a such thing as white passing for all of those groups of people except us. We don't have that. We're not able to white pass ever.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we can.
We don't white pass.
Yes,
we fit in with white people who don't white pass.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm white passing in my family.
Mute yourself. Mute yourself. Thank you.
But I got white passing.
Black people can pass. Black people have passed for a long time, so we can't say that Black people can't pass. He don't pass. He look black. Let's be real.
I was
black, bro. Both of y'all look
black.
black.
This nigga was Trinidad. I thought this was Black Arabic. I thought this man was Dominican.
No.
I didn't know what the fuck he was.
The only reason why I pass is because people be thinking I'm 7 different races in one.
Very much the nose.
So,
very much.
With that being said, I've gotten, are you Jewish? Are you Muslim? Are you Mexican? Are you Puerto Rican? Are you Dominican?
Arab?
Are you Cuban? Are you Yemen? Are you not for nothing? I've gotten that.
But see, I know plenty of black people with his nose. Half my family got his nose because my grandfather was Haitian and Polish. So I'm literally like the only person on my mom's side with black features.
So now
with the big lips, big nose, like I'm the only person on my mom's side.
Look, I get this pass.
I am the white cousin.
I've gotten this pass all my life just because, like, wherever I go, I blend.
Yes, but Shadira, you're saying something very, very, very valid. So remember how I've tried to convey the fact that this does not compare to the black experience. It's just to say that it's rooted in the same interest. So there's some commonalities. There's some places where we can connect. It's not the same. It's our levels are different, and I want to acknowledge that when I said my statement. And it just shows in the fact that Chantizzy and I'm gonna say your name wrong, Mizzy.
No, you said it right.
Okay. They both talk about being considered not black in certain settings can be life-saving. That's how deep anti-blackness goes.
That's how deep anti-blackness. You're absolutely right.
That is true.
You were saying white passing. There are white passing black people, but there's also just non-black passing people, and that saves their lives. And that speaks to how much hatred we experience across the planet. Forget across in America. And so, absolutely, I'm comparing, but I'm not saying it to mitigate or like downplay what we experience as, I want to say, one of the most horrific things that has happened on the globe to human beings. It is. I'm just saying that to say that the root of it is in a common oppressor. And so I don't think it's healthy to dismiss empathy that people may feel to a certain extent for certain experiences. When we acknowledge that ours is higher.
I can agree with that. And my last question for you guys, I'm sorry, because I don't want to take too much of y'all time. I know y'all don't probably.
This podcast was lit. Take all the time.
I'm trying to go smoke too. I can't smoke in here because I'm in my parents' home. But we could continue. I don't mind, but I'll just join from my phone. But my next thing is, and this is the last question, but I have some questions too if you guys want to continue on. But my next question is, what do you feel like platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook do for Black creativity?
Poisonous.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. They hinder our creativity.
I agree.
That shit is
blackball
creativity and place it on white
it's
people.
Toxic. Yeah, they steal our content. They let creators steal our content. They let creators make fake versions of us. Like, they steal everything that we do. It's horrible for us. I personally think we need our own platform.
Toxic.
That's what I think.
I agree. She went on a little,
especially TikTok. Like, personally, I have a bittersweet feeling about TikTok because TikTok is great. You go viral quick. You could get a lot of traffic quick and all of that. But as a Black creator, as quickly as you went viral is as quickly as somebody can come in and take your shine, and you can do nothing about it because you're not acknowledged because you're a Black creator, and I don't like that.
Somebody else can do it and blow up way faster than you can.
Somebody else can do it, and their video won't get flagged. But my video got flagged 10 times.
My videos get taken down off TikTok all the time. But the skinny white girl, sorry.
Nah, but what it is?
Why you say sorry? You can't say that.
Nah, facts. It's the truth. Like, it's facts.
Shows her whole butt crack in the camera, and her video doesn't get taken down. But I wear a mesh dress, and my video gets taken down. Whatever.
But no,
that don't even no fucking sense.
This is what I said, and this goes back to earlier. The minute we might do or indulge on something that they're known for indulging on, or the minute we do something, we lose 100 points while they gain 100 points.
True.
So now
something cool.
So now what it is
they find out about something that we did months and months later, is up for that whatever thing that
it's over.
No, but what it is we as us, we need to do better in not in like, so all right, I'll give myself as an example. I don't have no social media. There's many reasons why I don't have social media, but I don't care for the social media. So now what you do is you create your own social media. You create your own viral content. You create your own stuff where you
create your own viral content. Where you put this viral content is everything is owned by fucking white people. That comes back to the whole circle, bro.
I love that question.
Who controls Facebook? Who controls
That's why I
Insta?
said we need
Musk
That shit
controls
don't
all that
matter.
shit,
That's
bro.
what.
So
That shit
it don't
don't
matter
matter.
what
No,
will you put in that's owned by black people, bro.
if we have, look, you see how it's us 5, us 6 here in total.
It was supposed to be 5, but all right.
If we have, look, and I'm gonna touch on that, and I'm gonna touch on a different topic. But anyway, long story short, because I only got so much time.
Literally 10 seconds.
But if this is something that we make a norm, what is norm is not accepted anymore. Like in the sense of, if we make this the normal, what we're doing is going to be at the top. But it's not enough of us together.
That's what I was about to say, Mezzy.
To
Like,
do that.
that's a wonderful idea, but we as a people don't band together. We don't
no, that's the
go on and
problem,
on. We don't
and
do things as a collective.
But that goes back to our conditioning. That goes back to everything we've been through for the past 300 plus
Absolutely.
years.
We didn't do
no.
that to ourselves.
You know
though.
what? You know what?
No,
I'ma
but
say
once we
that's
break-
not even like us as a people for real. That's really a New York thing too. New Yorkers are the worst when it comes to putting people on. Like, I know people who took their skills out of New York and are thriving in other states. But New
Right.
Yorkers have a do for myself mentality. I got to put on
But
a
that is
hustle
how
for
New
myself
York is.
mentality.
Like, as New Yorkers, we was raised. Like, you gotta get that
Oh,
shit how
yeah,
you get it, bro.
absolutely.
Like, nobody about to give
Absolutely.
you no handout.
Absolutely.
So it's just like,
that goes back to conditioning. That goes back to what we were showed. This is what they kept saying. We have to break the conditioning. We have to break that mold. We have to break out of that and go into what we want as a collective.
And honestly,
So-
I'm learning that now, because as I'm getting older and being an entrepreneur and being in different spaces, I realize that, yeah, I was taught to get it on my own, get it how I get it, and always have it, and nobody's gonna hand nothing to me. But I've been in spaces where people have handed something to me, just off of my name or just off of something I said to them. Like, nigga, I got shit handed to me before. I got a silver spoon handed to me. I got an opportunity that I didn't have to work 10 years for. Like, so I can't. Yeah, I was taught that, and yeah, I know how to work hard and stuff, but I also know that I could walk into a space and say, this is what I have and this is what I want for it, and I could get it. And that's something that I've had to
but
unpack
everybody
within
don't know
myself.
how to say that. Everybody don't know how to do that shit either.
Absolutely. And honestly and truly, that ties into me being into mental health with Black people, because a lot of reason we don't know how to do that is because niggas never had nobody telling us that we could do shit.
Very true.
Like, there's people out here
That
that
shit
don't
not
think
funny,
they can
bro,
leave their
'cause it's
hood.
really
Never.
niggas
Don't
that
think they can leave their hood, let
That shit
alone
not
be a
funny.
That's that
billionaire.
mindset. Yep. That mindset is, I was born in the hood. I have to,
I gotta
Stay
stay
in the
here.
hood. Like, why the fuck
You
you
know,
gotta stay in the
like, this
hood?
my hood. Like,
My mother always told me, you in the hood, but I didn't raise you in the hood.
that's because you're not American, Bezzy.
And not
Thank you.
And I
Not
respect
American.
you.
Any background, like,
But not only
Caribbean
that,
You're not
background is
American.
so different.
but not only that, but me personally, like,
Growing up with both, hell yeah.
You
Yes.
like not only that.
because with
Black Americans and Caribbean Americans are not raised the same way, bro.
Very
At
much.
all.
I
At
have a
all.
guy dad and an African American mom. They are very different.
That's what I'm saying.
And also,
Like,
results were different in different homes too. Like separate.
two different.
Different. The behavior
That's
they got
two
out of
different
different
worlds.
shit.
That's why there's such a huge connect with Black people, because there's such a disconnect with Black Americans and Black Caribbean people. That disconnect is huge. Black Caribbean people don't understand that Black Americans are still dealing with slavery in 2023. They think,
honestly,
y'all
they're
lazy,
kind of
y'all
villainized
bums,
for
y'all
it.
this, that.
They're kind of villainized for it because
Villainized.
Mizzy will joke, and I know he may not try to pretend, but like, he'll joke about, like, oh, you're not Asian, you just Southern. Your mom is just Southern. You're just, your Southern roots. And it's like, yeah, because that's the majority of what Black Americans are here. If now I had other Black Americans grown up in the Caribbean, like my grandmother, that's you can only be three things as a Black person, and that's Black American, which is Southern roots. You can be Black Caribbean, which is Caribbean roots, or you can be African American, literally from.
Chantal, I'm about to disagree with you on that, because
Really?
I really think Yes, because we're all black. We all just dropped on
No,
different
I
parts of the
agree with
fucking
that, but
boat,
I'm
bro.
saying
That's
to
it.
people who may not
That's it. We're
understand
all
like
from
the
Africa.
stigmas.
You just got dropped off in Cuba. You got dropped off in America.
I
You
will
got
say,
dropped off in
Chantel,
Jamaica.
New
What's
York is
like,
really like
fuck?
one of the only places niggas really like take pride in. Oh, I'm Jamaican,
But
I'm
that's what
Haitian,
I'm
I'm this, that, and
saying.
the
But
third.
that's
Yeah,
what I
like
mean.
down south and out of town, all of them niggas, you either Caribbean or you black or you African. Like
That's
that's
how
it.
I look at it. Me personally, I'm
Yeah.
just black. I don't care what Caribbean background. My grandfather was Armenian and Puerto Rican. It don't really matter. The cops look at me and they're like, black woman. So it really don't matter if I bring my whole ancestry chart out. My thing is, though, African Americans, those from Africa, Caribbeans, and Southern Americans all have a different mindset on how they're raising their children. Southern people are more to their roots. You got, of course, my mom is freaking from South Carolina, but then my dad's family is from Barbados. And the way my grandma says certain things in comparison to my mom are totally different. If I've been sleeping at my grandma's house for 8 hours and I haven't showered, I'm frowsy. Now my mom's house, if
frowsy
I
as
haven't
fuck.
showered, yeah, you frowsy. And you like, what the fuck is
Nigga said
frowsy?
you frowsy.
He's really calling you fucking dirty. And if you sleep all day, you're a bum. But now my mom's household, if I sleep 7-8 hours and I haven't really been in a mindset where I'm in the mood to do anything, it's looked at as, okay, take your time, do what you got to do. And then eventually, like, all right, you can't be in this bubble for too long. That's ultimately the main message at the end of the day. You can't be a bum in all portions, whether African, whether Caribbean, whether black, you can't be a bum. You can't just be sitting around doing nothing. But Caribbean people and African people will call you out quicker than a Southern American would. Southern American, you might have 2 weeks. A Caribbean
But
person,
also a
not
Caribbean
doing
and an
shit,
African
shut
is
the fuck up.
calling you a bum for shit that's not bum like.
But that's what I mean.
Like,
So it's all a
like,
different
you a
mindset.
bum because you decided to take a nap after you work for 8 hours instead of come home and clean your room.
And fucking wash dishes and shit.
Literally.
Like,
But Dara, I was just talking to my brother about how like I love my grandma, but I cannot be at her crib because I'm like, my grandma will know you coming at 2 o'clock in the morning after going to an event and you need to stay in Brooklyn. But best believe at 6:45, she will be turning on that light, putting her kettle on the stove. Bitch, you may not be up.
Every morning.
I'm up. I'm
Every
having my
morning.
tea. I'm starting my day. You could either get up and hear all this noise, or you could stay asleep.
Or you gonna sleep through it. Like it
Yup,
don't matter.
or
I'm
I'm gonna
up.
wake you up in an hour. Like you still gotta get up. So my thing is like, even though it is tricky, I feel like there are different mindsets with certain black people, but it all relates down to like you can't be a bum. Like you gotta get the fuck up. Like you can't just.
Go ahead, yeah.
I think there's definitely different like parents.
wait, I got a quick question. Are y'all like in a rush to get off this call?
I'm not.
Not
No.
really. I'm just gonna stop recording because I got enough, but we can continue the call.
Oh, okay. Because I
I'm
like
just
this
gonna go outside
convo.
to, Because
I'm
No,
about to get
nah,
I'm about to go get a bottle. I'm gonna
I
go
think
get me
you
a
should keep
bottle.
recording.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you
I'm
should
going
keep
to be on my
recording
phone,
too.
though.
I was about to say
No.
don't stop recording.
I think
No,
that
I'm in this conversation. Look, and I'm gonna add this in because I got the floor now. When y'all was talking about girlfriends, I know all about girlfriends. You know why? Because when the cable cut, Channel 9 was my best.
Channel 9.
Yeah, Channel 9.
UPN.
I'm playing. And look, as black folks, we all could relate to that because the cable done been cut on all of us.
Hell yeah.
In time where we like, damn, we got.
Remember when it used to work for a little bit after it got cut off? Like a little bit. It used to
Just
work
a
and then
tad.
it
You
cut
got
off
one
for
extra
tutorial.
Yeah, like one
You
extra
couldn't
day.
change the channel. It had to stay on that same
It'd
channel.
be a full
That and
24 hours
WB11.
too.
Y'all
It would be
remember
a full 24 hours too. Like, hey.
Y'all remember WB11? WB11 would
Hell
never
yeah,
go
with the
off.
dancing frog.
The frog.
Boom.
Hello, my God. Hello, my God.
Oh,
Yes.
wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say that to say.
Wait, I know this is kind of all topic. Oh, go, Missy. My fault.
Nah, you Gucci. But I say that to say, like, I don't know what I was gonna say because I'm smacked.
No.
But I love y'all for making this go so long and for being here because I've been enjoying this.
It's content,
But
right,
other than
Tiffany?
that, what was the
Huh?
last
The
topic?
content.
This is great content. I just took some photos too. Y'all want to smile before I take photos?
What was the last
Because
topic?
I was sneaking. I was
Got you.
like,
Well, wait, what was we talking about?
She's,
I
all right, hold on, wait.
the
let me get
question
the-
that she asked
Wait,
was
I don't know what we were talking about.
the question that Tizzy asked was, do you want us to post?
Yeah, real quick. Everybody smile. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Okay, good.
So with the
The
question,
question that Tizzy she asked this a while ago, but I remember because I did have a point to make. She said, do you see these themes in shows in your everyday life or whatever? And we talked about like, no, we don't. But I do think like certain things, it does depend on where you're
I was
from.
like, why the fuck these Uber drivers so fucking
A lot
dumb?
of stuff that like a lot of programming, not a lot of it, but like some stuff, like I cannot relate to any of that. The only reason why I know about certain things is because I saw it in a movie or I saw it on a show or something like that from when I was a kid, obviously not from now, from experience. But I do think it comes from like life experience. Like I'm trying to think of like some kind of show that was like, y'all remember Lincoln Heights?
Yes. Oh my God. I thought that was
Mhm.
a fever dream. I didn't even
Like
think that show was real.
I
I
never
can't
remember that shit.
I can't
It was on
relate to anything.
Freeform. That was before
Yes.
Freeform was Freeform.
No,
It was called
it was on
ABC.
ABC Family. It wasn't on
Yes.
Freeform. Yeah.
And Charles was in it from BMF.
Yeah. He
He
was.
was.
He was.
He was the dad. He always playing
Always
freaking
somebody's
dad.
daddy.
Like,
A
shut up.
genius dad. But you know, like certain black people, not quote unquote black people, but like certain black people can't relate to that kind of lifestyle or that kind of living or that like. So I think it
I
does.
always bring that up because people always try to like decipher black people as living in the hood, and it's like there
Yeah.
are black people living amongst other black people in the suburbs. Me and Missy moved
Like,
to Georgia. I was shocked at how many black people live in upscale neighborhoods, never have experienced black on black crime, never have experienced racism, really living in their own bubble of suburbia and don't have to worry about that. But to us in the inner city, that's like it's a dream. That's like, oh,
yeah, because even black people that live in the suburbs got nice houses still gotta
exactly.
deal with all the bullshit we gotta deal with. Like niggas in the hood gotta
My
deal with the
mom's
same shit. Like
my
it's the
mom's
same
family is
thing.
literally like that. Like apparently like my mom's side, like her branch is like considered like the black sheep because of some like stuff that happened back. But like all the rest of like the aunts, the uncles, my grandma's siblings and stuff, like judges, attorneys. I'm like the first in like the line going to law school now, and like our line, like otherwise, but they're all in Georgia, very, very, very successful. Actually,
Likewise, I feel like I'm the only person in New York City and amongst my family who have gotten the degrees, have decided to go forward and even jump into their field of communication or marketing or, you know, say, for example, broadcasting to do what they needed to do. And then you go down south and people are flourishing because they don't have to worry about, I guess, conforming to city ideals. And we as people, especially living in a city, we don't understand what those ideals are that they might not be able to have to conform to. And I had to learn that living in Georgia because certain black people are like, oh, J Bills, you could go, my bad.
I feel like I get what y'all saying because you know I feel like us growing up in New York, you know, we raised a little different. But the thing with people being like black people that come from suburban homes, they be trying to paint this like hard picture, like they grew up from the trenches.
Absolutely.
When they parents and gave them shit, their life, they've been hands fed their whole life. What the fuck is the problem with that? I wish
I
my
agree
parents
with you,
my
Jay.
mom
I'm
told me
gonna
right
use
now,
my
yo,
little
dad,
cousin.
let me get a beat.
Nepotism.
Why is y'all like? Why you trying to be like your parents got money? What the fuck is wrong with that?
I'm gonna give you a perfect
Why you trying to
example,
act like you
Jay.
came from the hood, bro? Like what?
Why?
My
Because
cousin, right?
nepotism and being
I never
assimilated
understood
into
that, bro. I
culture
never understood
has
that.
been
You don't want to really
demonized
be
by
from
black
Brooklyn,
people
bro.
in the inner city.
I'm gonna tell you
It
why.
has been
I could tell you why.
demonized.
I could tell you why. Because my little cousins, right?
Let the liquor store right here.
I got 2 little cousins. One, because me and my grandmother had 7 grandchildren. All of us are 3 years apart. So me, the
My
next 2
grandma
little
got 7
cousins,
grandkids too.
I'm dead. So we 3 years apart. So I'm 28, they 25, 23. All these niggas, fucking, both of these niggas, parents in the military, had military lifestyles, didn't want for anything, grew up fine. The one that's right under me, Mello, he loves that shit. I love that for him. I love that they didn't have to struggle. I love that they didn't grow up in the hood.
I'll be right
I
back.
love that they got to live different places because matter of fact, their houses was my vacation spot. So I love the fact that these niggas love to fucking live
Always
wherever
talk
the fuck
about
they
that
live
to
at.
my family.
Like,
I'm like, why
I
do y'all
love
want to
it
stay in
bad.
New York? We need
Right,
to build
right,
root other
right,
places so me
right.
and New York can travel. So I'm not like,
Exactly.
oh, I'm going to my cousin's house in Brooklyn
Exactly.
and I live in Queens.
Like no,
Say
my
something
cousin.
going
I gotta
on.
take a plane to my cousin's house. Like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
like of course
What's
I'm calling. I'm trying to go
What's
there.
going?
Like,
She
but
she
yeah,
told
right. So
me.
I love that for them. But the one under him, this man had the same exact lifestyle, but in his brain, boy, he grew up in the hood. He wanted for food.
Can I
This
get
man.
some? Y'all have
I
some
used to
too?
be
A
an
grabbly?
actual
Oh
gang
yeah, can I get
member.
the
I used to
grabbly?
be an actual gang member. This nigga never
The
seen a
big
gun in
one.
his life till maybe like 3 years ago. He's the biggest gangster in Virginia. Biggest fucking gangster in Virginia. He don't know what to do with himself. He got it like that. This man lives off. He's 23 years old. He doesn't. Still to this day, he can live off my auntie. She can pay his rent right now. She pays his rent right now. She will pay his car note. And if he has a job, it's because he feel like having a job during that time.
And
But
that's
listen to this
nepotism.
nigga
As
music.
a black
Listen to this
community
nigga
should
talk.
assimilate into that.
Biggest Don Dada.
So now
I'm
I
done.
learned this from one of my friends. He grew up in the sty in a brownstone. You would think he lived a relatively, sheltered life. But just because you grow up in the suburbs, just because you grow up in certain environments that you deem better than your environment, doesn't mean that the trauma doesn't exist.
Oh, absolutely.
So I say that to say whatever trauma that you're facing in whatever environment is going to determine or going to have an effect on how you move and how you act. So now some people have a better way of masking that trauma. So now I say that to say we don't know what trauma he faced. But you more so better than anybody because you're family.
Yeah.
So now from the outside looking in, we don't know what trauma he faced for him to feel the way he feel. So I say that to say, because I said that to my friend. I said, yo, nigga, you grew up in a house, nigga. You grew up in a house in the sty, nigga. Fuck out of here, nigga. You living a good life, nigga. Your mom got the house. Like I was cutting my son ass. I'm like, yeah, nigga, your mom, nigga, pay rent on time and all that. And it got to the point where he had to kind of talk to me like, Miz, like, nah, nigga, you think just because I live in a house, I don't experience the same struggles you experience? I don't experience the same trauma that you experience, or I don't experience the same when my mom talking about the mortgage is due and shit is tight, nigga, and I can't get certain funds.
Sorry, I have to be a better parent to my dog.
Because I'll be talking to my son, and after that jokes, he was like, nah, Miz, I experienced the same shit you experienced, but the only difference is my mom fighting to pay a mortgage instead of the rent. But at the same time, she fighting to pay that mortgage. But if she don't pay that mortgage and she fall back behind, nigga, the bank gonna take her shit. And now I'm in the same, I'm in a more detrimental position than you. Because now we lose the house, we don't got nowhere to live. So we don't know what trauma, even though it may seem better or it may seem glamorous or it may seem good, we don't know what trauma these people is going through on a regular day-to-day basis. We don't know what love they received. And people used to tell me this all the time, and I didn't understand it until, as I got to my 20s. I was loved by both of my parents. A lot of people don't receive that love. A lot of people don't know what that love is like.
A lot of people don't even have two parents in their life, and that's one thing I
That's
definitely say. I'm
so
glad I
now-
let
had.
alone one parent. They only got two.
Wasn't even one, but
So
listen,
I had
everybody can make a baby, but everybody can't be a parent.
So now
that's the thing.
With my friend, and he's a good friend. With my good friend having a stepfather and an absent real father, I don't know what trauma he went through, and I was able to understand that at a young age.
Yeah, right here, good.
So
Have a good night.
we could say like, yo, they got the nice big house, the vacation house, but we don't know what trauma is going on inside their house. We don't know the trauma that we done went through and got over that phase. They now going through, or they still going through, but they got the nice facade. Like I said, once again, they got the nice facade to kind of paint over the trauma. So we don't see the trauma, we just see the facade. We see the mirage. So within seeing the mirage, we get caught up in, like, nigga, you living a good life. Shorty, you living a good life. But then when we really get in tune with whoever we talking about, they're like, nah, nigga, my life ain't all cracked
I
up.
think Chelsea raising her hand.
Yes.
But I
You
was-
raise your hand too, though.
Yeah, I'm definitely waiting like till you're done. So
Oh no, but
He's done.
I'm done.
So
I'm dead.
so I
He want to be a
think-
part of the girl panel so bad.
So bad.
Fuck yeah.
I actually think like, okay, so I think that a lot of times, so I have a couple things. First thing, I think a lot of times we misconceive, we misconceive the I wouldn't say like the hood or the really troubled dynamic that is portrayed in the media and that some Black Americans do live. We misperceive that as a resource issue when that's a factor of it. And I think the trauma and the attraction to certain behaviors that some people exhibit is goes deeper than just resources. And then I think also another thing is the aspect of image. When you portray a Black person as a certain way, I remember, so I went back and forth, right? White suburban neighborhood, New York City, inner city, but then also Montessori school. I went all over the place. And I remember when I was in this one school in the Bronx in 8th grade, this kid said, "Why don't you act like this? You're Black." And he was talking about the girls who were jumping me, having sex in the hall, like doing a lot of shit. And he was said to me, "Why don't you act like that? You're Black." And obviously at 12, that went over my head.
To piggyback, not to cut you, Chelsea, but to piggyback before you change your point, that was very similar to me growing up. And Shadira and me actually went to very similar high schools. Like her high school was on the 3rd floor, mine was on the 1st. But funny enough, growing up in a predominantly white high school, that's what I was asked to. Like, not only was I teased by the predominantly Black people for being too smart, because that was just a stigma that you couldn't be as a Black woman. Like, you can't be too smart. We're Black, like, you know. But then on the same breath, for the white people, it's like, well, why aren't you acting out? Why aren't you acting like the people who are teasing you for being smart? You know? So I definitely understand that as well. But continue.
Yeah, so like there's the image.
Can I just
Yeah.
sorry.
I'll remember.
I think no, I was just gonna say same thing. Like I completely agree, like, you know, why you not ghetto, like with them, like whatever, you know. But I think it was also because same experience. I've been Oreo, I've been why you act like a white girl, blah blah. But also I think it was like your interests as well. Like when, you know, because
Yeah, absolutely.
I like
absolutely.
brothers, I liked Hannah Montana.
Yep.
I
Yep,
like
all of that. I listen to rock music. I'm gonna listen to Jason Mraz. I'm gonna listen to some Fallout Boy. Like,
right,
Okay.
all that,
Some
all
Haley
that.
Williams.
With the Simple
all of
Life,
that.
Britney
When it's
Spears.
the race
Yeah, I
war,
love
All of
that.
that.
you
Simple
Haley
Life. All of
Williams
that.
from
It was
Paramount.
also your experience, but also how you like express how your experience, not your experience, your interest, like how you express your interests too, like in your personality and stuff. Like I think that was like the thing that was making them be like, you act like a white girl, like what? Same experience.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest and say,
And that's very
like, you're
unfortunate.
right,
We
Chelsea.
didn't do
And
that to ourselves.
1,000%.
like Chelsea, you saying the thing with image, that's a very huge thing, because I know for a fact the only reason I didn't get bullied as much as the average person who likes skateboarding and vans and listening to rock music and all that was because of my image. Like, I didn't dress like somebody who looked like that. Like, I dress like some regular New York nigga. Like, I'm a dyke, obviously, so I dress like a boy, but I dressed in hoodies and Timbs, like,
Not
but in
obvious.
my, like,
I hate
If I walk into the train station, I'm listening to Fall Out Boy. So on the exterior, I don't look
That's
like I'm doing
crazy.
all of this. So you're right on that. That whole image thing is a really big thing because, like, yeah, sometimes they clown me if you really know me, like, oh, yo, Shay, you an Oreo or whatever. It's like, all right, whatever. But I never got bullied nearly as much as somebody who don't have that same exterior.
Yeah, I don't think I got bullied either because people was not playing with me.
Like nobody bullied me. Like, so, like
I never got bullied about
I
it.
like what I like.
But it was a comment. It was a comment.
But I know people who got bullied for it. I know people who really got bullied for it.
Right.
Me too. I went to an all black like Baptist private school, and this
so y'all was giving it up.
We was blackity black. It was
blackity black.
We was church on Friday black, but there was a girl who was like, she really liked Hannah Montana. And look, I really liked Hannah Montana too, but she was like overboard, like notebook folder. Like I got like 3 Hannah Montana folders and I gave them to her because I was like, I'm not using no Hannah Montana folder. Like, what are you talking? And she laughed those folders and she used to make fun of her.
Girl, I'm a Raven fan, really.
Raven all day.
Hannah Montana, okay?
I really like Proud Family, but you know, I could rock with Miley.
I loved Hannah Montana.
I fucked with Hannah Montana.
I loved
Hannah Montana was good.
You know what else I love that is frowned upon? I really love Living Life with Derek.
Nah, that was my shit.
How the fuck is that?
I tried to rewatch that. I tried to rewatch that because I wanted to see if it was as like creepy as it actually was. Because you know, like we make jokes,
and it is as creepy as it was.
It was as creepy as it was. But you know what? It was Canadian programming, so it was.
It was given Degrassi. It was giving
pushing
like
the limits. Yeah, it wasn't.
It was like Emma's mother dating the principal of Degrassi High School.
Yeah, I was in the wrong schools.
That's what I'm saying. Like y'all was really in a white school, bro. I didn't.
I went to white schools twice, high school and college. That's fun. It made me more, you know, very much.
No, but here's the funny part. So look, so on my experience, I went to predominantly more so upscale white schools.
Missy went to Grand Street campus. I've never heard of Grand Street.
I'm not talking about high school. I'm not talking about
Grand Street campus. Where's that at? Grand Street, obviously.
I'm not talking about high school, y'all.
That shit sound like a secondary suspension school.
No,
what? Never heard of it.
It wasn't. I went to legal studies.
I went to legal studies.
I wanted to be a lawyer, just like Chelsea. But I got caught up. My daddy died. I got caught up in the wrong shit. So now what happened was in elementary, when my daddy was alive, in elementary and middle school, I went to predominantly more so, it wasn't predominantly white schools, but it was a good mix. So even my friends that were hood and play basketball and all of that good shit as black men, we still had the side of us that we talked about all these different music. We talked about all the different music. We talked about different things. And one of our good friends that played basketball with us, that was one of the nicest, was white. So not only did we have a mixture, we were introduced and we were around. We didn't have that barrier that you guys were around. And we didn't feel uncomfortable saying, yo, I listen to Fall Out Boys. Because then when one of us be like, yo, Fall Out Boys is a good workout song or something, another one with us to chime in like, yeah, I listen to Fall Out Boys too when I'm getting ready for the game. So
how old are you, Mizzy?
Like I said,
Mizzy a year older than us.
I'm 27. I'll be 28 in June.
You making it seem like you mad older than niggas.
A year older.
You like 30.
I'm not listening.
What the hell?
Y'all projected that.
All right, thank you.
Y'all projected that with the way I
No, Tizzy just said you're older than us.
I didn't say
that. Yeah.
Tizzy said that.
Are you not older than us by a year?
No.
I'm 27.
I'm 28.
I'm
about to be 29 in July.
Since when, bitches? Well, I know Shadira like almost
she don't
90,
be paying attention.
But
It's okay. I do this all the
Just
time.
kidding.
She don't be paying attention. I do this all the
She
time.
did. I know you old as fuck. You posted that shit about being 30 almost like 2 weeks ago.
Hey,
Guys,
chill.
So I say that to say
hurry up, because Chelsea has her hand
I've
up.
always been in
I'm
environments
weak.
where being different, no matter what, has been accepted. You may get, and here's the difference between men and women. Men may make kicks on you like, yo, yeah, man, Fallout Boys, nah, fuck out of here. But at the same time, they're gonna be like, yeah, I listen to Fallout Boys too, but when nobody's around. And you be like, nigga, fuck it. Like, it's different with boys. Females, y'all got a whole different shit going on because y'all are on a different time. But with men,
Women.
sorry,
Females.
women.
I hate him.
I'm sorry. No. 'Cause
Women.
Everybody's woman. Everybody's not y'all. Y'all are woman. But the females that be around y'all, whoa, I gotta cut them off.
Who?
No, don't make that face. Don't make that face.
Chelsea had her hand up for mad long. Chelsea had her hand up for mad long.
Females. All us bitches. I'd rather you say bitch.
When I say females, because
Bitches.
when Tiz be dealing with certain things, right? Y'all are women. So
You don't sound like the nigga from Baby Boy, Jody best friend. Y'all females.
Stupid.
I want to know what Chelsea got to say for real.
Look, because no, there's a difference because y'all are women. We can have a grown conversation, but now when females come in, when people
There's no difference.
yes, there is.
Female is the biological makeup. Female and male is biological.
Stop putting respect on shit that don't like. Stop doing that.
I guess he's saying you don't call a woman as a bitch, a woman. You just call her a female. Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
Nah, no. What I'm trying to
I'm mad confused.
What I'm look, and this
Push your point up, because you gotta go.
This may be the man's perspective.
I'm a little worried about forgetting my point. If you don't mind, I'm sorry.
Yes, please
I
go
got
away.
you, I got you.
Let Chelsea speak. Go ahead, Chelsea.
Y'all a woman.
Thank you, feminism. Go like this stuff.
So what I was saying about image. So like, okay, I'm embarrassing. I'm just gonna admit my embarrassing point. I was the one, I wanted to fit in. I'm an extrovert. So I would switch as a child. I would switch the way I talked, the way I acted, what music I listened to.
Girl, I still
no
coach.
matter what school I was at. So when I was in the Bronx, I started my way and I got jumped twice. And then all of a sudden I was like, yes, bitch. Like, you know, and I was trying it out and it was fake. It was pathetic and everybody knew. But I did my best.
I hope you know the beef never expires. I hope you planning to jump them again. They kids something.
Fucking day.
Yeah, I got jumped in 8th grade, but the beef never expires.
But
She got
Who you got jumped by?
no.
She
But
got evidence.
My fake cousin.
what you were saying about
Who,
Hannah.
Autumn?
This is
No. Kyle brother.
She got
baby nigga.
evidence. Wait.
I'm
No.
beat. All right, tell your story.
See.
What you were saying about Hannah Montana and stuff, I recognize when you said it, I was hurt because I realized that's why I got jumped. So this room is all Hannah Montana and brats. I have a Hannah Montana bed.
Oh, they was mad, Chelsea. Bitches didn't have a bed.
Okay, Canopy bed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bitches
right
was
on.
mad.
Wait, she got geometric patterns on her.
I was about to
Bitches were mad. Bitch said you got your own bed. You don't gotta share with three of your siblings.
I like a picture.
We gotta jump you, bitch.
I like a picture out of magazine. Black excellence.
It was like,
It was mad.
Yeah.
Oh, your room was so cute.
Thank you. I just realized right now why I got beat up so much.
My room was like that too, Chelsea. Don't worry. It had Jonas Brothers. It mixed Michael Jackson. It was
I
weird.
didn't just let me say when the waste war come about and you gotta kill Haley Williams from Paramore. Like that was my bitch.
Look, they was mad.
I feel like
when
she
they
should
see
get
your
an honorary life save. I feel like
they-
she should get an
That was
honorary
real
life
white
save.
girls.
It was like, damn, why I gotta share my room head to feet with my
That
brother?
was real white girls. I'm weak.
Very much white tea.
But
I'm alright. I own it.
Very
I'm
much
a kid.
8.5 by 11. I
what
love
I was
it.
saying about
That's why people who really know me now be like, yo, what happened to you? Like, you was white, because now I be on my pro-black shit. Everything black this, blackity, black. So they be like, yo, since when? Like,
Call me
chill.
out,
It's called growth.
that's how like I want to say image really impacts us. Is like, oh, all of a sudden like we when we're a kid we're able to really experience whatever we're exposed to, but when as we grow and as we enter society, they go, you can't enjoy that, you can't do that, blah blah blah. And imagine being the only black kid.
That reminds me of, have you ever, sorry, Chelsea, go ahead.
No, this is just what I saw on Long Island. Like the kids, like this one girl this white girl would only play Nicki Minaj or rap music when I was in her car. Now,
that shit would blow mine. And I don't know what the person I am. I'm like, shorty, like, what's good with you? Why are you doing that?
Nah, facts. That would piss me off.
Bitch said,
together. We listened to country, like we talked about country music. That's how like we became the same friend group. And when I got in her car and she would drive me home from school because we got out early, she would play music she didn't know the lyrics to.
That's
Well, it was a popular. And then she would like get upset. So then obviously there was like requirements for performance for friendships in this white neighborhood. So I can imagine a kid being black. This is the only environment they know, and they're required to speak like some character on TV. The only black people these white kids know. They're required to listen to certain music and present a certain way, dress a certain way. In order to make friends, they have to live a caricature. They have to perform every day just to not be alone.
And then even if all of that is natural and they don't have to do all of that extra stuff and it's already natural to them, now they got to worry about being labeled not that type of black person.
So why not just be
like
yourself?
Other black people?
They're not like the rest.
But I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Like if that is themselves, now all of a sudden they're amongst white people and you're not like the rest. You're not like other black people.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
And then I would say the last factor as to why a lot of suburban kids may pretend to be hood is masculinity. Being a black man and the negative like stereotypes that it is also a very masculine, intimidating, and not in a like respected. I want to say, I don't know, and I don't mean that word can mean.
No, that is true because like people like to be like, if you're not masculine or whatever, you a bitch. But like, every nigga's mad masculine.
Somebody tweets something that straight men shouldn't do because it's woman stuff.
I hate that conversation.
So you're right.
So
for the past 8 years, like it's been something like when a man addresses, it's you're sassy. So yeah.
Some of these niggas do be sassy though. I don't know.
It may be
I don't know about that one.
It may be a sense of fetishization. What the you know what I'm saying? Okay, it may be a sense of that, but I saw kids who are suburban get laid pretending to be hood. There were 3 black boys in my school, and I saw them pretend to be hood, even though I knew where they lived, and they were not hood. I was more hood than them, and that says a lot. They were not hood. They only time in the city when they would relate to me. The only time they had been in the city was to visit their cousin. And they would leave, and the mom wouldn't let them stay over because there were shootings. But they would dress and they would talk a certain way, and they'd go to high school and they'd present themselves a certain way, and they would get girls just like that. Those white girls would cling to them, and so that young boy. And wait, and then after that, also by the time we were like in 11th grade, they would go to like the really rough parts of Long Island and start hanging out with the guys in the gangs and those things. So it wasn't just a pretend anymore. It was a really like And so they were in a setup to like, yeah, my high school, like my dad put me in this high school and did these things to make sure I got to college easily, all those things. They weren't doing that journey unless they were like really good at football. They were, but now I know them, baby mamas, like they didn't use the opportunities their parents sacrificed for. They went right back where their
they wanted to be. That's literally what they were just like.
And that's mad fucking dumb. Because if my parents set me up to be Gucci, you like, bugging out, bro. I'm taking advantage of that shit.
That's what it's yes. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
No,
Shut up.
One more thing. Look. I never seen my father sag his pants. Like,
when was your father born?
Yo, hold on.
Okay.
I never seen my father sag his pants. I never seen my father act tough or act gangster for me to be like, wait.
Was your father
let me
born
say
in?
this though. And mind you, my father died when I was 15. So when I say that to say that gangster appeal, like it never appealed to me in the sense of, that's what I need to gravitate towards to get women or to attract a certain type of nigga. That's natural. Fuck is you talking about? Anyway, other than that, I never seen True word. Yeah. Laugh at that. Yeah, true word. I never seen my father act the way I'm acting right now for me to be like, yeah, that's what I need to do. Like I never, and I hold him daily to my heart. So I say that to say like that's goes to your upbringing. And even after my father died, the way my mother raised me was it still carried his ideals. So I don't move in that sense to gravitate towards something to attract something.
Okay,
so
thank you.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, thank you. So
Thank you.
I ended up literally the 10:15 point, and we were supposed to end at 8:50, but this was such a
So
good comment.
who cares?
No, it was like so. But as far as like recording, because y'all bitches want me to record edit a 3-hour video. I don't know if y'all know how editing works, but hell the fuck no. This podcast will be out next year. But on a serious note, any closing thoughts that you guys may have about this panel before I just stop recording? We can still talk.
I'm about to say. That's
No. I'm about to go outside and smoke.
I think there's a closing thought.
Oh wait. It was one of your questions you had on here, and I thought it was a good ass question.
Okay, go ahead, Chelsea, and then J Bills look for the question. I'm sorry, go ahead, Chelsea.
There's a closing thought just on this topic about image and stuff. The movies play a big part in that.
Absolutely, like
they
media.
are the maker of the white kid asking you to.
I'm good. You can smoke.
A certain way. I mean, the news as well, but like the TV and the media, like showing black men a certain way, so young boys know who to like look up to and what. All of that links back to what we see. Sorry.
Same with black women, though. We have the stigma that we are taught from the beginning, like, and Toop can play that game. We don't need a man. We play a man the way they play us, and ultimately, we're the one on top. And ultimately, we always need a partner, and that's not what's showed for black women. Black women are always taught we could be independent. We could live this life without a man, but for example, Jai, Chelsea, how many white people have you went to Oswego with who are fully married now, have kids, etc.? We're not taught that as black women. We're not taught to go away, find your love, get your degree, and then settle down and marry at 24. No, we're taught get as many degrees as you can, build your life for yourself, and then search for a man who can be
Live your life.
Literally live your life. Do what you got to do for you, and then when you feel like you got to settle down for a man, settle down. But some
white girls that get married, they be fucking miserable, bro. Like you can't compare your life to this.
But why can't we get that notion of feeling miserable? We don't even get to feel miserable because we're taught, oh, you need to be independent. You don't need no man.
I don't think, and that's a personal problem. Then you gotta like figure out what nigga you choose. Because there is niggas that's gonna hold you down. It's gonna be like 50-50, bro. And there's bitches that's not going for that.
I don't want no 50-50.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a Ponzi scheme. You holding the baby for 4.5 months. You carrying the baby for 4.5 months, especially at the end.
My sperm was.
No, I don't want no 50-50. Sorry.
I go 50-50 with no hoe or whatever Drake said.
Amen.
Drake said it best. Our half white king.
The nigga hit his child from the world. Fuck out of here.
You know Jack Drake? What's up with you?
We jacking Drake. Me and Jai was just talking about how I can't wait to meet Drake.
I'm not.
Oh. He love Drake. I don't even know why he even playing.
Nah, the nigga that hit his child from the world.
I would have hit my child from the world too.
I have my child from the world too.
I'm gonna pop out with a 10-year-old. I'm gonna pop out with a 12-year-old.
In the world from his child.
Yo, one thing my father did. Yo, when I was born, my mom talks about this shit to this day. When I was born, my dad was one of the happiest niggas on this earth at the moment. You couldn't tell that nigga nothing. He's like, yo,
in the world from his child.
Yo, the nigga said, you see my baby curly hair? Yeah, he a coolie. Yeah, look at that. That's what I brought into this world. So nobody can't tell me.
Everybody's not Martin.
I don't give a fuck.
Everybody.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Look.
I had to learn that.
Look, that nigga was going at 15, and then mama stepped up. So I don't care. Like,
I lost love for Drake when he said that line about Megan Thee Stallion. And I don't care who you say.
We don't.
Wait, what he said about
what he said about Meg Thee Stallion?
Basically, something about her being shy and Tory being okay, or just misogynistic.
See, I see nigga shit. He was mad he ain't hit. This is why I can't.
She lied.
I stopped fucking with Drake when he didn't get free to his credit.
I
Good
stopped
credit. Good credit.
when Drake said, "I'm light skinned, but I'm still a dark nigga." How?
Nah, look.
How?
I
How do you understand what that's like? Because I'm light skinned and I don't.
Because how do you even understand?
Feel like, like
this is
it's
when
very corny to me.
This is when I stopped fucking with Drake. When Johnny Blaze was like, "Nah, I ain't like that nigga. I gave him the pussy, but he didn't deserve it." I was like, "Damn."
You know the one who was beating
Nobody.
Johnny Blaze was on
claims
hip hop.
him.
I know
Exactly.
who Johnny Blaze is.
Look, see, I be doing my research, even when y'all think I don't be. When Johnny Blaze said, I gave him the pussy, and I still don't fuck with this nigga after I gave him the pussy. Like, I was like, damn, he making light-skinned niggas look bad, and I'm light-skinned.
No girl who ever
Light-skinned
dated
niggas
Drake
been looking
claims
bad.
him.
Yep.
He's cornball.
Lizzie,
He's a
you gotta
cornball.
do a reality TV version of this.
We can do it. I'm gonna send out an invite because I low-key don't want to end my season just yet because I feel like I only have like the next 11, 12 episodes. But once I finish this season, I'm gonna take a little bit of a sabbatical to like August, September. So I'm gonna be on like break for a little while. But if you guys are free, I would love to discuss the Black standards of reality TV. I mean, we have New York. We have Delicious, we have Flavor Flav. Like a lot of people don't realize how prominent Black people are in all aspects of media and like the certain things we started.
Right from Black reality TV.
Then we start Zeus TV.
Don't even back it up.
Why?
Zeus TV. We're not putting that in our Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. Love Lumel. Shout outs to the support, but we're not putting that in our Hall of Fame.
That's the problem.
I would put Chief Keef first because remember
The
that
content is there, but they're not seeing heaven.
Don't ever disrespect Chief Keef on his phone.
No, I'm saying
don't ever let me hear you disrespect
Chief Keef. Chief Keef has like this transition in his music videos that started a new wave of transitions for video artists. I remember when I started going.
Chief Keef started a lot of shit. What you mean?
That's what I'm saying. We can talk about that. We're not gonna put
Soulja Boy started it before Chief Keef.
Yeah, I was about to say Soulja Boy started everything.
All right.
Soulja Boy
That's what he
started
said.
everything.
Soulja Boy said that specifically about Chief Keef.
He did.
But just real quick, any closing messages? We can continue the conversation, but as far as like me editing, yeah, bitches is not gonna get me editing 4 hours of shit. Love y'all. No, love you, like the boys said on TikTok. But any closing points? We could start with Jai and then go from there. But let's close out, you guys, because it's almost 10:30 and we've been here for 3 hours, which I love.
I just wanted to say, I think that a lot of the programming that we talked about tonight really resonates with us and our culture. And I think that our generation, like the younger millennials, because I know we're all like over 25, right?
Technically, they Gen Z.
Yeah.
I'm 25.
No, them.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about us.
Yes, we're Gen Y.
We're not Gen Z.
Like
we're
millennials, because there's like old millennials and young
millennials. That's us, yeah.
Right. So yeah, like I feel like our like generation,
Chelsea,
our generation had like
You sure?
a lot of.
Sorry. 97, right, Chelsea? Sorry, Jai. Sorry to cut you. Yeah.
Sorry. No, I was just saying, I feel like it really resonates with us a lot, and I could talk from the conversation, but I feel like our generation specifically had a lot of representation on TV and in film and in like pop culture, specifically like dolls and toys and stuff like that. Like we really did. And I think it's very different because I think you asked a question like this earlier, but I don't think like we really got into it. We're like, do we see like single mother households and women out of wedlock and stuff like that? Do we see that in our everyday lives? And is that our experience? It may not be our experience, but I feel like this generation, not to be like the older person, but it's Black, it's all there. Like we can all see like social media is literally what's like, that's the content that majority of kids are consuming. And like, that's what they see. So that is their experience. And that's the kind of content that we're going to see now. So I think it, like I was saying before, it's all experience, age, and all that. But I like how it really resonated with all of us. We could all relate to each other through TV and stuff. It was cool. I appreciate the conversation, y'all.
No, facts.
No problem.
Whoever's next.
You myself.
I'm Gen Z. I found out. I was right.
Yeah, you are Gen Z. We're Gen Ys. millennials. But that poses the question because they have also too, like my cousin is Generation Alpha, so it's like, are they killing us off?
What the fuck is generational alpha?
What is
Alpha
that? I
is
never
anywhere
heard that.
between 2012 and now. So that's Generation Alpha. Gen Z is Chelsea till
Alpha.
12. Generation Alpha.
Bro, like, what are you even talking about right now?
Like
Basically, the ones who are gonna.
That's the
Basically, when I think
ridiculous
about
shit.
like terms,
That's
Alpha
like
is
they
the
about to
ones
take
who-
over the world or some shit,
No,
bro.
basically,
Like,
no, but really, they're gonna be the ones to instill a lot of change. Look at them now: cancel culture, woke culture. Those are the
the
kids.
cancel culture is fucking stupid, bro.
I
That's how I
agree.
close the argument.
It's
Cancel
group
culture
think
is
to me.
dumb.
I look at it as group things. Ultimately, cancel culture is ultimately group thing.
That's some dick riding
Look.
shit. Like, how you gonna tell
That's a
somebody who
different
not to fuck
podcast.
with?
Chelsea, did you want to give a point, and then Shadir, and then Jada, and then I'll close out.
No, I'm okay. I think I
Shadir, any closing points?
Closing point is I really enjoyed this conversation. I like that everybody here was able to voice their different opinions. I like that nobody was afraid to voice their opinions because I can't deal with them kind of conversations. That's kind of corny. Like, we can't have a fluid difference of opinions, then there's no need for us to talk. So I really appreciated the fluidity in this conversation. But yeah, this was cool.
I agree. Thank you guys also for coming on. I don't say thank you enough. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm actually very happy that you guys are the four that responded to me. I wouldn't want anybody else to be here. I feel like it was just so natural
Period.
and open, and nobody had to, basically disguise themselves for the, basically the approval of others, or feel like, oh, I don't want to say too much about Girlfriends because I don't know if she likes Girlfriends, and Girlfriends is like a cult classic to her. So I really appreciate you guys.
That's why you have Rihanna on this shit. It's the same fucking people that's.
Oh yeah, when Drake and Rihanna, when I get that Drake interview and that 200 Spotify,
Drake.
We in the background. Hey,
Nah, it's late. We outside.
Drake, like
that's upset mama part of the conversation.
period. Miss Cephas,
Four people
because she already
that's
followed
gonna be
me,
here.
so we gonna be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the manager in the back.
I know, manager, I don't pay
I'm the
you.
manager in the back. I don't need to get paid. I do this shit out of the love.
He said, I don't do this shit for fun.
Look,
I'm doing this shit for
out
money.
of the love.
Heard you, Bun B.
Y'all gonna be the same four.
Pimp C.
Y'all gonna be the same four that's gonna be on this bitch when Migos mom, when Offset mom, and what's her name that be liking? Polo. Which mom that be like?
Polo G.
Not Polo G
Her
mom,
name is
but
like-
I do follow her. Little Yachty mama.
Yeah.
I was-
That's real.
I love Anita.
Yo,
love her.
Lil Yachty mama part of this conversation, and then
I
100
love
people that
I
wasn't
love
here.
her too. Her and Offset mom, like they're just mad.
When 100 people that
Super
wasn't
hard.
here, and then when they here, they going, oh, hey, yo, Tiz, you want to send? Fuck they invite, and
All
I'm
I'm
gonna
saying
make
is
sure,
when I text
and
y'all
I'm
about
gonna make
the
sure,
private jet, I need y'all to
cause Tiz be getting nice. Tiz be like,
I'm packed already.
nah.
have them bags packed. We're going to St.
Look,
Bart's.
She be like,
Tickets paying.
she be like, nah, this for content. And that's when the measure come in. No, fuck them niggas. They wasn't here. They didn't start from the bottom. They wasn't shooing in the gym.
You moving like Shania.
I don't give a fuck.
Yo.
Death row until
Yo.
we death row.
He sound like we
That's it.
all in the video.
Yo,
Thank you.
Death row.
Thanks, Shug.
Yo, yeah, you got this all in the video, but we ain't a part of that. We ain't a part of that over here.
All in the videos,
All in the
dancing and
video.
shit.
But I do appreciate you guys all coming out. I know it was Jai. Did you? Yeah, Jai went right. It was J Bills that Mizzy rudely interrupted.
I just want to say, yeah, this was a cool panel. Thank you for having me. I appreciate everybody's dialect. And in the near future, I would love to see, like you said, we all have good Black role models around us. We know Black people that's flourishing. So going on in the future, I would like to see more of that in Black media, Black entertainment all around the board. Not just us being cracked out bombs, That's it.
Excellence. All y'all is beautiful, intelligent women, and y'all deserve to know that y'all are great and y'all are awesome. And I enjoy
That
this
nigga drunk.
because I can't have this conversation with dim-witted people because I be around a lot of hood
You
niggas.
bruising me. I'm sensitive.
I do want to say thank you. This was so fun. I learned so much, and I love getting challenged on my views and expanding on them. And this is just, I had amazing time.
Good. I'm glad you guys loved it. So when I email you in 2 weeks about the reality TV panel, you should all be available.
Sure will be, girl.
Wonderful.
I got you.
Actually, if you got, because I'm dead serious. So start researching your favorite reality TV shows. I already got my two. I love New York and Flavor of Love. But
Only way I could do this show is if I am the angry voice. I hate all reality TV shows.
Yes.
you know what's funny, Chelsea?
Be the angry voice.
We
I'm
need
gonna say,
that.
be
We
the angry
need devil's
voice.
advocate all the time. If we're all talking about how we love reality TV, nobody's gonna get the gist of why reality TV is detrimental to African Americans,
I tell her
women,
this shit all
etc.
the fucking time.
I need that
Oh my
Because
God.
I'm definitely a fence rider when it comes to reality TV. Like
Me
I'll
too.
talk
I
shit
am
about
too,
it, but I'll
though.
binge
I
watch
am
it
too.
all
She's
day.
lying.
I'm
No,
gonna
I
take my
am.
shit, but
I'll
I
be
sure
honest
be
with
tuning
you.
every
Nah,
Sunday.
facts.
I tune in every Sunday to Baddies West. I'm not gonna lie.
What's that
Pick and
Jocelyn
choosing.
show? What's that show with the strippers?
Do it like it should be day.
That's her favorite
That's
shit.
God's
She's
No, it's
favorite
not.
lying.
shit.
I never
She
watched
is
that
lying.
show. She's so
I
She's
love
smart.
lying.
I've never
Yo,
watched
that-
Jocelyn's
yo,
Cabaret.
we
Ever.
both,
love that shit.
we both downloaded the song. Do us like it's your.
I love that. I
That
love
don't mean I watched the show. I do watch Baddies West though. I did watch Baddies
I love
South.
that too.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Shadira. Like you said, I'm on the fence of reality TV because I hate Love and Hip Hop, but I can watch Baddies West. But
I already
on
know.
the Scott Young.
We're on the same page, but I was thinking Housewives of Potomac, Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, we stand the Housewives. Andy Cohen is the white man who could continue making money off our backs because he's making us look good, honey.
I actually never watched an episode of Housewives.
I'll never watch that
I'll
episode of
send you
Housewives.
I would
Ever.
love
that
it.
you'll need to watch for the panel.
I
I'll
already
send y'all.
Yes, I'm gonna make a group chat with all of us on Instagram, and then we'll talk about next steps.
I already have my
Okay.
fighting culture, the degradation of the black woman image. I already got my talking points.
It's so much we could talk about on reality TV. How black women are
Yeah,
the lowest scope of love, that we have to settle for
boy.
Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav.
Because you had to
Flavor
settle for
fucking
Flavor
Flav,
And then,
boy.
that's another one. A reality or like just like game shows about love and the token black girl that gets kicked off in the first 10 minutes.
And then
Yep.
why is it always the darker skinned woman that's
Always the darkest one.
You always know that
she don't even make it nowhere near to getting it picked.
No,
Don't
You
even
always
make
know
it
that she
anywhere near
does
to
not
getting
have
it
a
picked.
chance
delicious funky ass off, but that's tea for another day.
with her
But thank you
mustache.
guys, but I appreciate you guys so much for jumping on the panel. So much. I love y'all. And thank you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
Thank you.
Good night.
Yeah.